back on the road after a brief stop in McKeon Park last night that saw Hyannis earn their third win of the season. They look to continue to add fuel to the fire tonight against a Western Division rival in the Cotuit Kettleers. The Blue and Orange rode a dominant pitching performance to the win yesterday, topping the Braves 4-2. As for the hometown Kettleers, they were defeated by the Wareham Gatemen last night 1-0. Manager Chad Gassman gives the ball to St. John's product Nick Mondak for his first start of the summer here at Lowell Park. It's the Harbor Hawks and the Kettleers on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Hi, everyone. Pleased to welcome you all into the broadcast tonight. Alongside Lyle Goldstein, I'm Brendan Howe. And Lyle, for a while there to begin the season, we've talked a lot about the inconsistency on both sides of the ball, pitching and offensive-wise. But last night, the offense didn't really have to do a whole lot.
No, and they still put up 4 runs. They had that big inning back in the bottom of the second inning, the 3 spot highlighted by the 2 RBI single from Hunter Goodman. But yeah, last night was really on the pitching. I mean, you look back to Billy Corcoran, 5+ innings, 2 earned runs, really just 1 mistake pitch in his whole start. And he also struck out 4. I mean, he really worked both sides of the plate well. He mixed in his off-speed well, and he was just really feeling it against the Bourne team that has also struggled a little bit on the offensive side of the ball. He took advantage, which is something Hyannis desperately needed if they want to climb their way up back into the playoff race.
And the bullpen as well did the job, too. Ben Abram and Nolan Christ come out of the bullpen to combine for 3 innings to shut the door on Bourne last night. Ben Abram was spotless out of the pen, gave up 3 hits, no runs, and Nolan Christ just the same. No hits, no runs, and also struck out 3 as well. So we talk a lot about the pitching that's been inconsistent to start the year as part of 11 losses for Hyannis up to this point. Picked up win number 3 last night, and tonight Nick Mondak on the mound. But Lyle, you actually had a chance to catch up with pitching coach Ray Korn a bit before the game.
Yeah, we did, and he had a lot of good stuff to say. I mean, he talked about in terms of that bullpen with Abram, with Nolan Crisp at the back end. Of course, this is a tough league. There's a lot of good hitters in this league, and it's going to take these guys a little bit of time to adjust. But once they do, they can really start to figure their stuff out because guys like Abram, guys like Crisp, they are talented arms. It's just a matter of putting it together, and it all comes with time, especially up here.
Well, Lyle, let's take a look at your interview with pitching coach Ray Korn.
Joined by pitching coach Ray Korn. Coach, how you doing today? Nice win last night.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful day today. Yesterday was probably the way we should play, or more so have to play, if we're going to get into the playoffs. Our pitchers, I don't think we walked anybody, maybe one. We threw strikes, got ahead in counts. Defense, no errors, and we had some timely hits, hit and runs, that Chad called that got us on the board, and we held it.
So Billy Corcoran, 5 really strong innings last night, really outside of 1 pitch. He was pretty dominant.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the back end of the bullpen. Ben Abram, Nolan Crisp come on to finish the job. Here are guys who have kind of gotten their feet under them a little bit first few weeks of the season. Now they're really starting to hit their full stride. What kind of adjustments have you seen from them?
Well, I think when they first got here, they were pitching for the radar gun. And now they're pitching to win ball games. I think their command's a lot better. I think they know when to use their breaking ball, what pitches not to throw in certain situations that could hurt us or cost us a ball game, And when you look at Ben, pretty much he pounded the strikes on both sides with his fastball yesterday. He used his breaking ball instead of his slider because he had a better feel for it last night. And when he did use it, it was an effective pitch. Same thing with Nolan Crisp. Nolan's going to come in there and he's a bulldog. He's going to throw as hard as he can for an inning with a tight slider. We added some guys that are relievers, late guys, closer guys, this last week. So we got Scalera, we got Hughes coming in, we got Drabeck. All these guys are used to closing that can pitch the 8th and 9th inning for us. And they're used to coming in, and winning a close game. You talk about when one pitch is off for one of these guys, like, for example, one of the relievers yesterday, you'll kind of opt to go to another pitch or kind of just eliminate that for the night. How long does it kind of take you as a pitching coach to assess that? Is it a batter, an inning, or does it just kind of differ? Well, usually, if we get a chance here, it's tough, but at our place, Harwich, Falmouth, I can get to the bullpen, watch him, and then we talk what kind of pitches we want to use, what pitches he feels better with today, and every day is a little bit different. And then we decide, how we're going to sequence the pitches that way. And again, with some of these guys, we know what pitches they don't want to see, and after a while, you play them 2 or 3 times and they hurt you on certain pitches, but didn't hurt you on other pitches. Then we know if it gets into an even or behind count, we're going to go to the other pitch. So the Cape League is so often regarded as being a pitcher's league. It takes a long time for the hitters to adjust. But do you kind of see from a pitching coach's standpoint how difficult it can be for some of these pitchers to adjust to so many good bats? Well, that's the thing is that maybe the 7th kid in the lineup here for Cotuit today batted 3 or 4 in his college lineup. So there's some guys you can get out a little bit easier than other guys. but there are no guaranteed outs in this league, and and the other thing, for the hitters, it's it's a high velocity league. Most guys here are 92, 91, 94, 95. Kid from Notre Dame through 99. You know, so it's a high velocity league. So now it really behooves you to have good secondary pitches because they're going to have to sit on the fastball, and they're going to sit on it early in the count. They're going to sit on it 3-0. So you have to be able to just change speeds, change eye levels, things like this. Maybe pitch a little backwards sometimes. If you want to get them out with the fastball, you need to pitch them backwards, maybe the second time up, and you'll get a fastball hitter out that way.
Right. Finally, Nick Mondak getting the start tonight, his first of the summer here in Hyannis. What are you kind of expecting from him tonight?
I think he's going to be better than what he's shown. Okay, he's coming off, some arm surgery, and it's a gradual buildup, of his velocity. But he's a guy that's 91, 93, I talked to his head coach at St. John's, who's a good friend of mine. He wasn't finishing his pitches, so there he wasn't getting the type of spin down in the zone he should. So, we've worked the last 2 or 3 bullpens and on the side, just working on finishes and getting more spin and staying down in the zone. So it's going to be interesting to see how much of that he carries into the game.
Mondak taking the rubber tonight. Hyannis and Cotuit set to go for first pitch at 5 p.m. Coach, thanks so much.
Well, we appreciate the time from Coach Korn pregame today, but Coach Korn talked a lot about guys pitching for the radar gun and now pitching more to win ball games. Tonight, that's going to be Nick Mondak's job, making his 3rd appearance of the summer. His first start, however, though, Lyle. What are you expecting from Nick tonight on the mound? A bit of what Coach Korn talked about already.
Well, you're right. And he talked about he thinks he'll be better than what he's shown. And so far, he's gotten himself out of a couple nice jams out of the bullpen. He's shown some good stuff at times, but it's about the consistency piece. And here's a guy, he's not unfamiliar to starting. He made a couple handfuls of starts in his season at St. John's this year, and he's getting his first start on the Cape. This is a Cotuit offense that hits a lot of home runs. They can put together a lot of big innings. But if Mondak can limit that and just work both sides of the plate well, have good fastball command, he could be in for a good start today.
Well, we should be in for a good game here from Cotuit at Lowell Park. We'll have lineups and first pitch for you on the other side of the break when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network, Low Park in Cotuit. Hyannis getting just about set to go for action as the hometown Kettleers have taken the field. It's the right-hander from Coastal Carolina, Zach McCambly, on the mound tonight for Cotuit, and he's facing a Harbor Hawk lineup that goes as follows. Jackson Olson leads off, playing shortstop. Following him, Rowdy Jordan out in center field. Trevor Hauber out in left and doing the cleanup duties in the lineup tonight. Jared DeSantelo at third base, followed by Lucas Dunn at second. Mitch McIntyre out in right field. Hunter Goodman, the DH tonight. And Brooks Carlson at first, with Chad McDaniel behind the dish, rounding out the nine. Lila Hyannis offense that put up 4 runs last night in the win over Bourne back at McKeon Park. Looking to try and take down the second place Cotuit Kettleers in the Western Division. Second game of the Patriot Cup in 2019. Cotuit took the first game back at McKeon Park. The second game of the season, 11-0. So the shortstop, Jackson Olson, just about set to lead off the ball game, digging in from the left side. Beautiful day here from Lowell Park. Sun is shining. A slight wind just before the ball game tonight. First pitch from McCambly on the way, a fastball outside. The Hyannis in search of their 4th win, trying to make it 2 in a row tonight against Cotuit on the road. 1-0 pitch to Olson. Fastball, a called strike at the knees to even the count. The Hyannis notched their 100th hit last night. It was the 4th of the ball game, tied for 6th in the Cape Cod League currently. 1-1 to Olson, breaking ball that missed away. 2 balls in a strike to Jackson as he kicks some dirt around. Hyannis tonight in their blue tops with orange numbering and lettering with the white trim and, of course, the navy blue pinstripe pants. A 2-1. Fastball outside. Count runs to 3-1 on Jackson. A good take. But right away, McCambly in some trouble with the leadoff man. Right-hander short, wind up the 3-1. Fastball, Olson helps him out there. He chased a fastball low, and the count runs full. Jackson comes into action tonight with a 258 clip as he awaits the payoff pitch from McCambly. Swung on, popped up left side, in play, ranging after it Schmidt and the left fielder Hill, and it'll be Schmidt not making the catch in foul ground as it trickled out of the glove, trying to make the snag on the backhand as he moved toward the fence. And as a result, Jackson stays alive at the dish. Tough play looking up into the sun as it is still out bright and shining over the confines of Lowell Park. No lights here in Cotuit. Olson steps back into the left side, waves the bat at McCambly a couple times. Now he's set for a payoff delivery. Here it is. Fastball ripped into right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. So Jackson Olson gets aboard to kick off the ball game for Hyannis. And 1 on, nobody down for Rowdy Jordan.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting from Olson. Just works the full count, sees one out over the plate, and tears it into right field. A good start for a guy who's starting to hit his surge once again. Continues it here to begin the top of the first.
So Olson punches his 9th hit through into right field. Here's Rowdy Jordan digging in from the left side, still looking for his first. Check on Olson at first. He's back in head first. Well, it's been a struggle for Rowdy early on. Just arrived with Hyannis this past week. Made a start in center field at McKeon Park last night. Another check on Olson. He's back safely. Cotuit once again coming in second place in the Western Division at 7-7-2. They sit with 16 points. First pitch to Rowdy, breaking ball, cutting a miss over the top of it. Tailed back down and in toward the back foot. 0-1 the count. These Kettleers were shut out at the hands of the defending champions Wareham Gateman last night just by a score of 1-0. A briskly played ball game. Short lead for Olson over at first as McCambly peers back toward him. Now he'll take a quick step off. Olson still not moving from that lead. Another check on him, just a courtesy toss this time as he's back in with a dive. So Jordan still patiently awaiting the 0-1 offering. Trevor Hauber awaits on deck. 1 on, nobody down. Hyannis top half of the first inning, just underway from Lowell Park. Right-hander McCambly set and delivers an 0-1. Fastball that runs away. And the count draws even. Well, Rowdy came to the dish 4 times last night. Couldn't punch one through. and a couple of soft ground balls, but yet to find a way aboard the 1-1. Breaking ball outside. Quick look at the defense for the hometown Kettleers tonight. Outfield left to right, it's Hill, Williams, and Shavers. And around the infield, same way, left to right, Schmidt, Oviedo, Gonzalez, and McWhorter, with Pasek, the battery mate, with McCambly tonight. Jordan wiggles the bat above his shoulder and watches a 2-1. Cut and miss through it. Throw down to second as taking off was Olson on the pitch, and they had him by a mile. So Olson was gunned down on the hit and run attempt. And Jordan still at the plate dealing with a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
And again, another hit and run put on there. It's a good idea to try to be aggressive early. Just Jordan couldn't quite put one in play.
So things settle down for McCambly on the mound considerably. Nobody on, one down. Time called at the plate. Five o'clock start time here tonight from Lowell Park. The 2-2 to Jordan on the way. Fastball bouncing left side. Schmidt coming in to get it. Fields it on a hop. Off balance throw to first. In time to get Jordan. So a nifty play from the third baseman of Cotuit. That'll bring up Trevor Hauber with 2 down.
Yeah, and for the third baseman for Cotuit and Schmidt, just fielded it right at about the belt high level. Like you said, made the throw a little bit off balance on the run. Not an easy play as Rowdy Jordan's got some speed down the line, but records that second out.
So the third straight lefty in the lineup for Hyannis. This is Trevor Hauber as he takes a strike. Breaking ball at the knees. 234 for Trevor coming into action tonight. He's racked up 11 hits thus far. McCambly winds and fires in 0-1. Another breaking ball, trying to pick the same spot at the bottom of the zone. Didn't get it, dropped it just a bit low. So the count 1-1 on Trevor. McCambly winds and deals. 1-1 fastball. Hauber waves and misses. Foul tip back into the glove of the catcher Pasek. So all of a sudden, McCambly, after giving up a leadoff single to Jackson Olson, 1 strike away from working out of the top of the first rather cleanly. A 1-2 offering. Fastball in the air to center. Williams was chased back a few steps, now comes in. He's got it lined up and will make the grab, and that ends the inning. So the leadoff single from Jackson Olson goes for a knot, and the Harbor Hawks go in order. 1, 2, 3. Still scoreless from Lowell Park. Cotuit coming to the plate in the bottom of the first on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Bottom of the first here from Lowell Park in Cotuit in a scoreless ball game. Nick Mondak on the hill for Hyannis tonight, the left-hander from St. John's. He'll be facing a Cotuit lineup that goes as follows. Nick Gonzalez leads off and plays second base. Following him, Casey Schmidt at third. Dante Williams in center field, followed by Araj Anu in the cleanup spot doing the DH. Mason McWhorter at first. Parker Chambers in right. Cam Hill in left, followed by Adam Oviedo at short. And rounding out the 9, the catcher Cody Pasek out of Maine. So Chad McDaniel fires the throw down to second base. Mondak just about set for action. Hyannis was able to put up one hit on the board in the top of the frame. And working out of it pretty nicely was Zach McCambly. And now his offense trying to come to the dish to get him a cushion. So here is Nick Gonzalez, the second baseman from New Mexico State. Boy, if you want to talk about the top hitters in the Cape League, look no further than this guy right here digging in from the right side. Leads the Cape League in average as Mondak winds and fires first pitch of his outing, a high fastball, 1-0. Gonzalez also at the top of the stat sheet in RBIs with 15 and second in home runs. 1-0 pitch. Chopper to short. Coming in to get it, Olsen. Fields it off the turf. Throw over to Carlson in time, one down. Mondak gets through Gonzalez rather easily there on just a couple pitches. That'll bring up Casey Schmidt.
And Gonzalez is a guy who's done nothing but hit the ball over the last week or so. We already talked about all his league ranks, Brendan, but right there, Mondak, good piece of soft contact. Nice pitch down in the zone. Gonzalez just chops one to short.
Casey Schmidt out of San Diego State, the third baseman. Had some action in the top of the first inning, making a play down at third base. Watches a first pitch fastball from Mondak that runs outside. This Cotuit team hits and hits a lot. There's the 1-0 from Mondak on the way. High fastball, cut and a miss from Schmidt. Third in the league in hits. First in home runs. Lyle, you talked a bit about the power that they've been showcasing throughout the first couple weeks of the Cape League season as we enter July. 15 to be exact as a ball club. Mondak kicks and deals a 1-1. Another fastball, late foul down the right field line, well out of play. But this Cotuit offense, not afraid to pile on the runs. They do more than just that. Not afraid to show some patience either. Third in the league in walks with just 59. Mondak's 1-2 offering, looking for a punch out. Can't get it there as Schmidt skies one foul out of play. Drifting back over the bleachers that currently reside just off to our right. And the left-hander Mondak with a 1-2 count and one down. Gets his sign from McDaniel. Rocks and fires a 1-2. Fastball in the dirt. Strike three. Picked by McDaniel. So down goes Casey Schmidt. And two down now for Dante Williams.
And some good off speed there from Mondak. Casey Schmidt just kind of got the strings pulled on him. And as a result, Nick picks up his first punch out of the night. He's off to a good start here in the bottom of the first inning against a Cotuit team who, like we already said, can flat out hit the baseball.
6th strikeout of the summer so far for Mondak. This is his 5th appearance, although all 4 prior to this start were coming out of the bullpen. Tossed 4 2/3, coming on in relief for Chad Gassman. It's a 1.92 ERA, lefty-lefty matchup, as Williams watches the first pitch fastball to knees. Last time we saw Mondak was an inning in relief on June the 28th in Harwich. Gave it just 1 hit in a clean inning. Trying to start off strong here for Hyannis. The 0-1. Fastball's in there, strike 2. Williams a bit of a look of disbelief back toward his Cotuit dugout. Thought that one might have been a bit outside, but Mondak will take that all day. 1 strike away from working out of the first. Left-hander looks over the glove. The 2-2 offering. Fastball. Williams thought about going after it. Decided to hold up again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, Williams last night went 0 for 3 in Wareham. And to change his fortunes at the dish tonight against the Harborough pitching staff who was on the rise. Mondak's 1-2 offering. Fastball foul tip just off the glove of McDaniel. Plate umpire will walk a new baseball out to Mondak to give Chad some time to recuperate behind the dish. Nobody on, 2 away in the Cotuit home half of the first. Williams has fouled off a couple off of Mondak, battling with 2 strikes. Left-hander climbs the back of the mound, back onto the rubber. McDaniel back into the crouch. Mondak into the windup, the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball way up high. Up around the head level of Williams, and the count evens 2-2. Williams waves the bat. Mondak's 2-2 pitch. Here it is. Fastball low, and the count runs full. Mondak this season on the Cape has walked just 3. In his appearances in his college season, walked 2+ just twice. As the payoff pitch to Williams comes in, swing and a miss, strike 3, down he goes. Mondak fans him with a low fastball down and away, and the left-hander works a clean first inning. Cotuit goes down in order, couple strikeouts for Nick on the hill. Hyannis coming back to the plate from Lowell Park when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Hyannis went 3 up, 3 down in the first. So did Cotuit. 4, 5, and 6 to up for Hyannis in the top of the second. Jared DeSantolo, Lucas Dunn, and Mitch McIntyre against the Coastal Carolina product, Zach McCambly. Hyannis was able to mount 1 hit, the lone hit of the ball game thus far. It was a Jackson Olsen single to lead off the ball game. But he was gunned down on a hit and run attempt from Rowdy Jordan. And then Trevor Hopper flew out to center. So here is Jared from the left side for his first plate appearance of the evening. Launches a fastball low. Jared picked up another hit last night. Average currently sitting at 324 as we enter the evening. Again, a bit of an earlier start here from Lowell Park. A 5 o'clock first pitch time, the 1-0 to Jared. Fastball pumped in for a strike to even the count. McCambly this season started 2 games. He's allowed just 4 hits. Make it 5 with the one that Hyannis tacked on in the first as the breaking ball misses away. 2-1 to the Hyannis third baseman, DeSantolo. Gambley winds and fires. 2-1, a fastball in there for a strike. DeSantolo bending back out of the box, perhaps in a bit of frustration. He let that one go. 2 balls, 2 strikes, with Lucas Dunn awaiting on deck. Gambley shrugs the shoulders, kicks and fires a 2-2. DeSantolo sends it foul up off to the left over the bleachers, out of play. So the count holds, and Lyle Jared's really been one of the more consistent bats in this Hyannis lineup throughout the season. And trying to do some more damage here against Cotuit tonight. And an even count, 2-2 here against McCambly, the pitch. Fastball right side, grounder through and into right, a base hit. So DeSantolo puts the brakes on, short turnaround first. Back-to-back singles to lead off the 2 frames. Hyannis has been at the dish. This time DeSantolo turning things over to Lucas Dunn.
Well, right on cue, like you said. I mean, there's his 12th hit of the season. That's tied for a team high with Nick Lofton, who's not here right now. But for a guy like DeSantolo, hitting toward the top of the lineup, and we already talked about it a bit earlier this week, but not your prototypical number 4 hitter. Chad Gassman doesn't care about that. He just wants runners and runners on base. DeSantolo's given it.
So here's Lucas Dunn, who's had himself a nice opening week with Hyannis, as the check on DeSantolo's not in time. 3:08 for Lucas, who arrived here earlier this week, went 1 for 2 last night, scored a couple runs as well. Hyannis getting McCambly back into the stretch here in the second inning. The pitch, breaking ball outside. Well, Lucas had himself quite a season with the Louisville Cardinals. Turning it over here again with Hyannis. Trying to build a name for himself here on the elbow of Massachusetts on the Cape Cod League. DeSantolo, a short lead off first. The 1-0 fastball is in from McCambly for a strike on the inside half. So the count levels at 1-1. How good of a year did Lucas have at Louisville? Well, 54 hits, 24 RBIs, and a 309 average to go with it. Just a point under that here through his first week in Hyannis at 308, the 1-1. Breaking ball into the dirt, knocked down by Pasek behind the plate. No advance for DeSantolo at first. We talk about consistency a lot, and this offense put up 4 runs last night against Bourne. Well, the pitching really doing him a solid, helping him out. Dunn's 1-0, sends that one a short blooper into right. That's going to fall in for a base hit. DeSantolo will pull up at second, advancing 90 feet. Lucas Dunn back-to-back singles here for Hyannis to start the second.
Well, it's more the same thing with Lucas Dunn hitting in the 5 spot. I mean, by trade, he's a leadoff hitter, a guy who gets on base a lot. He can steal bases. He'll hit for a high average. But for Chad Gassman, again, much like DeSantolo, he just wants to find guys that can consistently get on base and try to get him as many at-bats as they can. Lucas Dunn doing it right there. Just a little jam shot out into short right, finds some grass and picks up another base hit.
So 3 hits already put up by Hyannis against McCambly, the right-hander. First and second, nobody out now for Mitch McIntyre making his return to the lineup. Swings at a first pitch fastball and sends a high towering fly into deep left center. Ranging back on it is Williams. He's got it. DeSantolo's going to try and tag for third. The throw is going to come in late as Jared slides in safe. And both runners will advance into scoring position.
Well, nice job by McIntyre to get it deep enough into the gap to send Williams back and have to kind of catch it with no momentum going toward his way. I mean, he made the play kind of on his back foot, ranging back a little bit toward the end, but he made it quite the throw to third base. I mean, DeSantolo beat it, but got it there right on the fly to the third baseman, Schmidt. Made it a lot closer than what people probably would have originally thought, but regardless, Hunter Goodman comes up fresh off that 2 RBI single last night and another RBI opportunity.
And this is exactly the same type of situation he came up in last night as he swings through a first pitch breaking ball. Now Goodman picked up a couple of hits last night, one of those being the 2 RBI single that Lyle just mentioned. That was Goodman's first hit of the summer with runners in scoring position. Hitting just at .83. It did the job last night for Hyannis as he watches another breaking ball dropped in for a strike. Hunter finds himself down 0-2. DeSantolo off a third, Dunn off a second. Hyannis threatening in the second. Hunter Goodman trying to work back from an 0-2 count. The pitch, high fastball up around the shoulders. Goodman a brief look toward Chad Gassman, who gives him a clap of encouragement. Right-handed hitting DH from Memphis back into the box. Stares out at his opposition on the mound, McCambly. Right-hander kicks and deals a 1-2. Breaking ball. Shallow fly into right, ranging over after it Shavers. He's got a beat on it. He's got it. DeSantolo's going to try and tag and score. He will. Advancing up to third on the play, Lucas Dunn. So a sac fly for Hunter Goodman. Chalk up another RBI for him. It's 1-0 Hyannis.
And he's having himself quite the nice last couple of days. Goodman 2 for 3 with the 2 RBIs last night. And right there, fly ball with plenty of range, just got the job done. DeSantolo an easy cruise home from third. Hyannis 1-0 here in the top of the second inning. A nice sign.
So here's Brooks Carlson batting in the number 8 spot tonight. Bumped down a couple spots in the lineup. Trying to get his bat going. Swings at a first pitch fastball and lifts it out of play. Now for Brooks, down to just 157 so far in his summer. 0 for 3 last night. He's got a chance to try and break through the slump and knock in an RBI with Lucas Dunn down at third base. 0-1. Breaking ball called strike on the inner half. McCambly's been working that inner part nicely, specifically with that breaking ball. Got Carlson down 0-2. Right-hander still looking for his first strikeout of the night. Trying to wiggle out of this second inning with limited damage. The 0-2. Dropped in, strike 3. freezes. Carlson with a breaking ball down and in. And right on cue, McCambly picks up his first strikeout of the night. Hyannis strands one, but they push one across and take the lead here from Lowell Park. It's 1-0 when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Bottom of the second inning from Lowell Park. Hyannis has struck first once again. They lead at 1-0. 4, 5, and 6 due up against Nick Mondak here in this frame. Arajanu, Mason McWhorter, and Parker Chavers. Cotuit find themselves down early in this ball game as Mondak pumps in a fastball that missed away 1-0. Anu, the Kentucky DH, trying to get his season back on track. Just 1 for 19 in his last 5 games. Left-hander Mondak fires a 1-0. Popped up right field. Ranging back on it as McIntyre comes a few steps toward the line and makes the grab to retire Anu, 1 down.
Yeah, nice job from Mondak again. Nice piece of soft contact. Didn't give McIntyre too much trouble in right field. First 4 batters he's faced are retired, and good sign to see, especially for a guy like Anu, who really kind of ripped the Harbor Hawks apart in their last game.
So that'll transition things to Mason McWhorter. First baseman tie for Cotuit, a lefty-lefty matchup as he taps a first pitch fastball straight back. No balls and 1 strike. Mason comes into tonight right at 200 on the dot. Getting his first crack at Mondak for Hyannis tonight. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Fastball outside. Count draws even at 1-1. McWhorter, like so many of his teammates, 0 for 3 last night in Wareham, part of a 1-0 loss. Sends the 1-1 pitch in the air, right side, ranging back on it. Carlson, now it's done shading the sun. He makes the grab 2 down. So very quickly, Nick Mondak working through the first 2 men in the inning. That'll bring up Parker Chavers.
There's just another easy pop out. Mondak, yeah, he got the 2 strikeouts back in the first, but aside from that, he's not overpowering anybody, but he doesn't have to. He's just hitting his spots and right on the same page as his catcher, McDaniel.
So Parker Chavers, the right fielder, batting from the left side. First pitch from Nick. Fastball on the outside corner, painting the black 0-1. Mondak cruising through an inning and 2/3 so far. He's ready for an 0-1. Fastball up and away, just missing. Tried to stuff one in at the top part of the zone. Instead, the count 1-1. On 1 from the left-hander, fastball down the left field line. DeSantelo ranging after it in foul ground toward the fence. Into the shade, he'll run out of room as it clanks off the side wall. So a ball and 2 strikes. Chavers stays alive. DeSantelo gave it a long look into foul ground. And there is a lot of it down that left field line. Maybe not as much as what we saw in Harwich last week, but DeSantelo to go a long way. The count's still 1-2 to Chavers. Cam Hill awaits on deck should we get there. On deck trying to work out of the second inning. The 1-2. Fastball's in there. Strike 3 call. Third strikeout of the game for Mondak so far as he walks confidently off the mound back to the dugout. 6 up, 6 down for Cotuit. Mondak mowing him down. 1-0 Hyannis. Top of the third coming up on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chad McDaniel, Jackson Olsen, Rowdy Jordan coming to the plate here in the top of the third for Hyannis. And it's 1-0 Harbor Hawks here at McKeon Park with Zach McCambly back on the mound for the Cotuit Ball Club. McDaniel, the switch hitting catcher, steps into the left side of the box. Takes a couple of half practice swings and now bends his knees and puts the bat above his left shoulder. First offering, good breaking ball in for a strike. So McCambly's through 2 innings of work. He's given up the 1 run on 3 hits. He winds and fires. Ground ball foul right side. McDaniel hitting .211 coming into today's game. Hackenberg got the start behind the plate last night. But McDaniel behind the dish a couple nights ago in Chatham back on Saturday. 0-2 for McCambly. Swing and a high pop-up, dropping quickly into shallow right field. In comes the right fielder, Chavers. He makes the grab. So 1 down. McCambly induces a quick fly out to the hitter, McDaniel. Chavers coasted in nicely from right field, made the catch right at about the chest level. That'll flip the lineup back to the top for Jackson Olsen.
Now it's just a breaking ball away from McCambly that time, and McDaniel just a bit out in front of it, pulled it into right field. Result a quick sinking liner, but Chavers right there.
Now Jackson Olsen, the hitter, watches a first pitch breaking ball down. It's a lot of off-speed stuff so far from the right-hander McCambly. He'll take a breath from the right side of the rubber, gets the sign and fires, breaking ball up high. Olsen singled back in the top of the first. He was the first batter of the ball game, but eventually caught stealing, trying to swipe second on a hit and run. 2-0. Line drive into straightaway center field. In comes Dante Williams. He makes the grab. But Dante Williams out of Arizona took a first step back, came a couple in, made the catch no problem at the neck level to bring up Rowdy Jordan after McCambly's gotten 2 quick outs to begin the top of the third.
Well, Olsen with some hard contact that time, lining one into center. Squared it up nicely, but unfortunately just right at Williams.
So now that brings up Rowdy Jordan. Second switch hitter to come to the plate for Hyannis this inning. He also hits from the left side. Watches a fastball down. That one comes in at 93 miles an hour from the right-hander McCambly. Jordan still is in search of his first Cape League hit. Grounded out to third in his last at-bat. 0 for 4 last night as the Mississippi State product watches another heater. This one catches the outside corner. The Rowdy Jordan comes off a .290 average with 21 extra base hits as a Bulldog out in Starkville after his sophomore year. Here in Hyannis looking to make an impact as well. Another fastball. This one catches the bottom of the zone. It's 1-2. We've seen McCambly work in a lot of off speed and some good breaking stuff so far. Now he's starting to pump that fastball up toward the mid-90s. He'll get the sign. Comes home, swinging a tap foul behind the plate from Jordan. Now, Rowdy struggled early through the first part of his 2019 season. In fact, until the end of March, his average was just under 200. But he used just under a handful of games, specifically that Auburn series, to really help jumpstart his season. Offering from McCambly, swing and a miss. Jordan right over the top of a breaking ball, and that ends the top of the third. McCambly with the second strikeout of the afternoon, and it's still 1-0 Hyannis through 2.5 frames. Harbor Hawks go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. To the bottom of the third we go on the other side of the break when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We go to the bottom of the third here from Cotuit with the left-hander Nick Mondak back on the mound. St. John's product has worked 2 very, very clean innings up to this point. And he's set to face the 7-8-9 Cameron Hill, Adam Oviedo, and Cody Pasek. Hill hitting .229 coming into today's contest. Didn't get the start last night in the 1-0 defeat against the Wareham Gatemen. One of 5 lefties in the lineup for Mike Roberts' squad in Cotuit tonight. Mondak winds and fires. First pitch lined way foul down the right field line. So a beautiful sunny day from Lowell Park. This ballpark is absolutely gorgeous. 320 down the left field line, 397 to center, and a couple lines of trees go from left to right beyond the fence. Offering up high, it's 1-1. Scattered fans sit beyond the fence, just in front of those trees. Out in left and left center field. Much more the same in right center. Offering down low. That fastball comes in at 88, and it's 2-1. But Cotuit, in fact, does not have lights. They're one of 3 ballparks in the Cape without them. Mondak's ready with 2-1. Heater right at the top of the zone, and the count levels. Hill gave half a head shake at that one. Wasn't so sure himself, but he sits in a 2-strike count now. Mondak peers over the glove. Shakes his head once, now nods. And he'll deliver. Swinging a foul back. So Cotuit, Whitey, as well as Brewster, the 3 fields that do not have lights. So as a result, all their home games start at 5 o'clock p.m. to be able to get the full 9 innings in. 2-2 from Mondak upstairs, and it's 3-2. DeSantolo in with the bag at third. Rest of the infield playing just about straight up. as Mondak gets the sign from McDaniel and delivers. Chopper right side foul. So 6 up, 6 down so far for Mondak. He's got a trio of strikeouts to his name. 2 flyouts, and a Nick Gonzalez ground out to short to lead off the ball game. The lefty winds and deals. Line drive down the right field line, chasing over McIntyre. He makes the grab coming toward the line. So a long at bat from the left-hander Hill ends in a loud line out down the right field line for the first out of the bottom of the third.
Well, good jump on the ball from McIntyre off the bat. Knew it was going to be falling toward the line. Had a bit of distance to cover to his left, but no problem. McIntyre's got some speed out there.
So Oviedo, shortstop out of TCU, digs in, hitting .268 on the season. Mondak's offering, swing and a miss. Drops in a nice off-speed pitch to make it 0-1 to the TCU Horned Frog Oviedo. Or rather, maybe we should say former TCU Horned Frog at this point. Oviedo just announced a couple of weeks ago he's set to transfer elsewhere. Offering fouled straight back. So Oviedo finds himself in a 2-strike count with 1 down. And Mondak looking for strikeout number 4. Into the motions, the offering, checks his swing, appeal down to first, and he goes around strike 3. 4th punch out of the evening for Nick Mondak, and there's 2 down in the bottom of the third.
Well, really fooled Oviedo there. Dropped the breaking ball, fell off the table. Adam couldn't decide whether or not he wanted to go around on it. Couldn't pull back just in the nick of time.
That brings up the number 9 hitter, Cody Pasek. Mondak ready to go, the offering. Good fastball in the outside corner. He is working it from both sides of the plate. Once again, we'll see what happens with Adam Oviedo as 2020 rolls around. TCU went 34-28 in 2019. Mondak fires down low. Oviedo with 3 home runs on the season for Cotuit. He's one of 4 players on the Kettleers roster that already has multiple home runs here in 2019. But Pasek, the hitter, hitting .364, sporting that high average as he watches a heater down low. Oviedo's 1. Gonzalez another. Both those guys have 3 long balls. Arajanu and Casey Schmidt each have a pair. Mondak's 2-1. Ground ball right at the shortstop. That's Olsen. Fields cleanly, fires across, inning over. 9 up, 9 down for Nick Mondak through 3 innings of work. And it's 1-0 Harbor Hawks through the bottom of the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on for the Kettleers. And we'll go to the top of the 4th when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Heart of the Hyannis order coming to the plate in the top of the 4th as it'll be Trevor Hopper, Jared DeSantolo, and Lucas Dunn. Zach McCambly out of Coastal Carolina back on the mound for inning number 4 as he's set to face the Arizona State Sun Devil Hover. So far today, it's 0 for 1 with a flyout. First offering down low, and it's 1-0. So Trevor Hover's got 1 home run on the season. That came in the most grand fashion with a grand slam back at Falmouth on Wednesday. That was part of a 7 RBI performance from the Sun Devil. Swings and chops one foul right side toward the Harbor Hawk dugout. Now 381 days ago, so just over a year's time has passed since Hover hit his first home run since entering college play. And it came out here in the Cape League at this very ballpark. McCambly's going to take a breath. Rocks and fires. Ground ball up the middle. Diving backhand. Can't make the stop as Gonzalez, and it trickles into right center. Trevor Hover rounds first. He'll stop right there, and he picks up his first hit of the afternoon.
Well, Trevor's been swinging the bat well the last couple games, picking up his first hit coming in the 4th inning tonight. 4th of the game for Hyannis as a team.
So for Hover, he picks up a single to lead off the 4th. That'll bring up Jared DeSantolo. But for Hover, who came into the day hitting .234, that average isn't really indicative of how well he's been hitting the ball. McCambly throws over to first. Hover's back safely with a head-first dive. He's been squaring everything up. He's just been in one of those quote-unquote slumps, although hard to really even call it that when he's hit everything on the screws just right at fielders as he dives back safely again. And Trevor said it today before the game. He said, I feel good. I'm feeling my slump buster coming today, and as a result, picks up that hit here in the top of the 4th. Offering to DeSantolo, it's up high. And the thing about those type of stretches for hitters is when you're hitting balls that hard at that many different fielders, you're just bound to break out of it sooner rather than later. So Hover gets a short lead at first. Offering to Jared, and it hits the outside corner, count evens. And often, even more than that, when you break out of it, these players will often break out in a pretty big way as well. Sometimes you'll see them go 6 for their next 10 or something along those lines. But Hover starts something here with a base hit to begin the top of the 4th frame. McCambly checks the runner, fires home. It's way up high. Takes the catcher Pasek way to his left, but he keeps it from getting behind him. But back to that Hover home run. That coming on June 15th of 2018, right here at Cotuit. It was a solo shot for his only home run of the school season or the summer. What was part of a 4-1 Hyannis victory over their rival Kettleers. Next offering, it misses down. It's 3-1. Now, Hover had power in high school, and he showed it a pretty good amount, but when he got to Arizona State his freshman year, didn't put up a home run. 5 extra base hits, just none of them going for long balls. But when he put on the Hyannis uniform, he hit that first home run right here at Lowell Park. That was one of 4 extra base hits in his 2018 summer. 3-1 offering to DeSantolo, right down Broadway, and the count swells. 11 RBIs to go along with that .267 average in his summer of 2018 for Hyannis, that being Trevor Hover. But man, did that spark something for his sophomore year. In 2019, Trevor Hover hit just a tick under .340, 30 extra base hits, 13 home runs. 3-2 to DeSantolo. Called strike 3 right on the outside corner. McCambly paints the outer black and sends DeSantolo frozen back to the dugout for the first out of the 4th.
And DeSantolo looks a bit bewildered on his way back to the dugout. Gets a few high fives of re-encouragement from some teammates on the way down the steps, but that fastball from McCambly, as you mentioned, Lyle, paint job on the outside corner.
That's his 3rd punch out as it'll bring up right-handed hitting Lucas Dunn out of Louisville. Hover back to the bag as McCambly took a quick step off the mound. But back to Trevor as McCambly throws over and the runner Hover back safely again. Hover reached base in all but 4 games as a sophomore for Arizona State. All but 4. And the offering, swing and a miss from Dunn. And keep in mind, he started every single game for Arizona State in 2019. He started every game for the Harbor Hawks since he's arrived. With all those starts, again, 574 slugging, and he recorded hits in all but 10 appearances. Breaking ball to Dunn, it misses down. And he really racked up so many different accolades in his time in 2019. I mean, he finished second or third on the team in every offensive category, and the only guys he was ever trailing, as McCambly throws over again, Hover back safely. The only guys he ever trailed in 2019 on his own team in terms of offensive categories: Hunter Bishop, who was drafted 10th overall by the Giants, and Spencer Torkelson, who's set to be almost a slam dunk top 5 pick next June. 1-1 to Dunn. Good fastball, but it misses just away. Hover hit .335 when leading off an inning in 2019. .439 with runners in scoring position. And he sat as the leadoff man at the top of the lineup for almost the entirety of the season. Sporadically, he would be put in the number 2 hole. But here for Chad Gassman's ball club, he's hitting third. As Dunn pops one up right on the infield, coming in the first baseman McWhorter, calling everybody off, and he makes the grab in fair territory. So 2 outs as Dunn pops up to the first baseman McWhorter. That'll bring up Mitch McIntyre, still with a runner on. So Mitch, much like Trevor Hover, another returning Hyannis Harbor Hawk. He spent a brief amount of time here in the orange and blue jersey back in 2018, right at the end of the summer. As the BYU product is set to get into his stance, bat wiggling above his left shoulder, as McCambly fires over again. So for Trevor Hover, hasn't stolen a base here in 2019, but regardless, McCambly keeping an eye on him with a short lead. 1-0 Harbor Hawks the score, as the offering to McIntyre. It's a fastball good for a strike. Mitchell look down the third base line, readjust his batting gloves. But McCambly, who's starting to really ramp up that fastball a bit, keeping a close tab on the runner Hover at first, although once again, not much of a lead. Throws over one more time. Hover back with no problem.
Well, Trevor's getting his workout in just at first base. Doesn't even have to go around.
McCambly's 0-1. Down low, Hover a late steal. Throw down from Pasek to second, and he slides in safely. Right on cue, there's Hover's first stolen base of the summer, and he puts himself in scoring position with 2 down.
Great heads-up base running play from Hover. Recognizing the ball was spiked in the dirt, Pasek struggled for a moment to find it. It was in between his legs. By the time he corralled it, got up and fired, it was already too late. Hover was down at second base.
So Trevor Hover, his first stolen base of the summer. As McCambly throws down to second, that trickles by the second baseman Gonzalez into center field, but Hover staying put. So Hover, a rarity, what we just saw. His first stolen base here in the summer of 2019. He hasn't stolen a single bag in his time in a Sun Devil uniform. But he swipes one there to put himself in scoring position. So a leadoff hitter that doesn't steal a lot of bases, as McIntyre checks his swing and goes around to make it 1-2.
Well, you mentioned that Hover's not really a threat to go, Lyle, but taking up a lot of real estate in the head of McCambly right now. And about 5 or 6 pickoff attempts at first, and then 1 at second base.
So Hover, that's actually the first stolen base of his career. He didn't steal one last year either in a Harbor Hawk uniform. 1-2 to McIntyre, ground ball to the second baseman Gonzalez, backhands on a couple hops, throws to first, inning over. The Trevor Hover, the leadoff single, steals his first career bag since entering collegiate play, but doesn't go for much else. McIntyre grounds out to end the top of the fourth, and it's 1-0 Hyannis through 3.5 frames. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. as we enter the bottom of the fourth here from Lowell Park in Cotuit. The top third of the Kettleers lineup finally coming back to the plate against the left-hander Nick Mondak. St. John's product has gone 9 up, 9 down through the first 3 frames, and it'll bring up Nick Gonzalez, the right-handed hitting second baseman out of New Mexico State. And Gonzalez hitting at the top of the lineup, why not? Comes into the day leading the Cape with a 377 average. The offering, fastball misses just away. Grounded out to short in his first at bat. But Gonzalez has been nothing short of eye-popping in his 2019 campaign with the Kettleers. Mondak gets the sign from McDaniel and delivers. Up high, and Gonzalez works ahead at 2-0. Gonzalez with 20 hits on the summer. 9 of them for extra bases, also 15 RBIs. Offering from Mondak, good fastball at the knees, it's 2-1. And with those 20 hits, that leads the league. Gonzalez leads the league in hits, in average, in RBIs, and he's tied for first in home runs, doubles, and walks. So across the board has been the New Mexico State Aggie as he pops one foul out of play. And Gonzalez in his season with New Mexico State in 2019, not just hit over 400, but he led the entire nation in batting average. He digs back into the box now. Mondak peering over the glove. And he delivers. Just away, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. 432 was Gonzalez's batting average in 2019. And for a lot of the season, he was up around 500 as well. So, of course, there's going to be some regression. It's just a little bit tough to stay up there all season. Mondak will fire home. Swinging a foul back. Gonzalez stays alive with a full count. After being named the WAC Freshman of the Year in 2018, he put together this absolutely phenomenal 2019 campaign and only built off what was a great freshman year. Now, some people might look at what he's done and just kind of shrug and say, well, he's in a conference like the WAC, but people aren't paying attention to what he's done up here in Cape Cod. That's on them. Putting it together night after night against elite competition, as time's called, Gonzalez will step out of the box. Gonzalez third in the country with 95 hits in 2019. Offering from Mondak. Popped foul again. So Gonzalez protecting with 2 pretty well, and he's put together a lengthy at-bat against the lefty Mondak, who's yet to allow a base runner. Now, Gonzalez isn't unfamiliar with sporting the Kettleers uniform. He spent a very brief time with Cotuit at the end of last season. Got a few pinch running appearances. As Mondak fires the 3-2. Inside, he lost him. What an at-bat from Nick Gonzalez. Draws a long walk to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning. First base runner allowed for Nick Mondak in tonight's start. And that'll segue things to Casey Schmidt, the right-handed hitting San Diego State University Aztec.
Now, Mondak got the better of Gonzalez in his first plate appearance on just a couple pitches. This time, worked a pretty lengthy at-bat, worked the count full, fouled off a couple tough ones, and Gonzalez finally winning a battle.
Mondak will check the runner Gonzalez at first, and he'll fire home. Upstairs, it's 1-0. I mean, plain and simple, Brendan. As well as Mondak's pitched, it's hard to keep a guy like Gonzalez off the bases for that long. So like you said, he got the better of him once, but after a long battle enduring between the two, Gonzalez just got the better end to draw that walk as pitching coach Ray Korn will come out to the mound to have a meeting with his left-hander. So 1 Cotuit base runner has reached so far as we're here with no outs in the top of the 4th, but once again, Brendan, isn't it only fitting it was Nick Gonzalez?
Well, absolutely. You mentioned he was first in the league in walks, and why not tack on another one? The control just hasn't been there for Mondak here to start the 4th inning. And I love that quote from pitching coach Ray Korn that we aired on the pregame show. Guys were pitching more for the radar gun than they were pitching to win ball games. So this is probably just trying to calm Mondak down on the mound. Mowed down the first 9 guys in the lineup.
So Gonzalez stands at first, and once again, he's got pop in his bat. 3 home runs in a Kettleers uniform so far. He hit 16 in his sophomore season as Schmidt fires one foul out of play. So he's a guy that stands at 5'10 and just 190 pounds, but that hasn't stopped him from absolutely owning whack pitching over the last 2 seasons. 347 as a freshman. One more time, 432 in 2019. Mondak working out of the stretch for the first time today. He fires over. Just a B move as Gonzalez walks back safely. The 1-0 the count to the hitter, Schmidt. He's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout swinging. On the season, Schmidt hitting 163. Mondak delivers home. Swing and a high drive. Deep left center field. Back goes Jordan. He's got a beat on it in front of the wall. Reaches up and makes the grab. Tagging from first to second, Nick Gonzalez. He's going to get there without trouble. But what a ride Casey Schmidt gave that ball. Rowdy Jordan ranging back into his right. Looked like he had a beat on it at first, but it kept carrying and carrying. But the Bulldog stays with it, reaches up to make the grab just in front of the wall for the first out.
Well, you mentioned Lyle Schmidt put an absolute charge into that ball. It's no easy shot out to center field by the scoreboard. About 390 to dead center. Schmidt gave that one a deep shot out to center. Sent Jordan all the way back to the wall.
So that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Dante Williams, out of Arizona. Mondak will peek at the runner and deliver home. Fastball runs away, and it's 1-0. Williams flew out to right in his first at bat. And the Arizona Wildcat looking to get his summer going a little bit. Hit 267 in his campaign with the Wildcats in 2019 to go along with a pair of homers. Offering from Mondak, cut and a miss. That one clocks in at 89 miles an hour, and that levels the count. 1-0 Hyannis here from the bottom of the 4th inning. They got that one in the top of the 2nd. That was courtesy of a Hunter Goodman RBI sac fly. As Williams pinwheels the bat toward Mondak once, he's back into his stance. And the lefty will come set out of the stretch from the first base side of the rubber. Fires home. Williams shows bunt, and he can't pull back in time. It's a called strike. So Goodman made some impact back in the 2nd inning yesterday in what was a Hyannis 4-2 win over Bourne. He scorched that 2 RBI single in the left center. That scored both DeSantolo and Dunn. And those were the first runs of the game for the Hyannis offense as they would go on to win by 2 runs. Today, responsible for the only run on the board up to this point. Not in the same fashion, but regardless, put Hyannis out to a lead. Mondak will check the runner, comes home. Upstairs, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Hyannis, of course, just 3 wins on the season. They sit at 3-11-1. But they seem to thrive when they score first. In fact, they're 3-1 in 2019 when they're the first team to score in the ballgame. Nick will check the runner again. Olsen backing up to his normal spot. The offering slapped foul out of play. So Williams will step out. He'll readjust for a minute. Still an absolutely gorgeous day with the sun maybe starting to move out west a bit and come and start to set. Wind blowing out toward left center just beyond the scoreboard at Lowell Park. The lefty rocks and fires. Line drive foul down the left field line. That gets toward the bullpen. Araj Anu waiting on deck for Cotuit. He's got some big power in his bat. 2 home runs on the year, although today for Araj, flew out to right in his first at bat. Williams struck out swinging to end the bottom of the 1st. He's got a 2-2 count here with 1 down. Gonzalez, the runner at 2nd, being held in check pretty closely by Jackson Olsen, the shortstop, who creeps in right behind him. Gonzalez, set right at the belt, comes home. Upstairs, and the count runs full. So Mondak issued just 1 base runner tonight. That's the man at second, Nick Gonzalez. He went 9 up, 9 down through the first 3. And in a very mini jam here in the bottom of the 4th. Williams wiggling the bat above his left shoulder, knees bent. Mondak fires. Pop-up foul behind home plate. It gets out of play toward the snack stand here at Lowell Park. Cotuit 16 points on the season. 7 wins, 7 losses, 2 ties. They sit at second place in the West Division, 3 points behind the Wareham Gatemen, who downed them 1-0 last night. Mondak giving Williams a long look. He'll get the signal from Chad McDaniel. Checks the runner, delivers. Outside, ball 4. Gets away from McDaniel, but not enough for Gonzalez to take third. But Dante Williams draws a full count walk, and that puts runners on first and second with just 1 down.
Well, all the damage that Mondak has suffered today has been self-inflicted. Just a pair of walks. Mentioned, went through the first 9 in the lineup with ease. Now Chad Gassman on his way out to the hill to have another conversation. That'll be it.
So Mondak's day is going to end after 3 1/3. His line will be open as he's responsible for the 2 runners on base, but a gritty performance from the St. John's left-hander. He'll exit the ball game here with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. And Joe Quintal out of Fordham set to come into the game when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. With 2 out, or 2 on rather, and 1 down in the bottom of the 4th inning, it'll bring in the right-hander Joe Quintal from the University of Fordham. Set to make his 4th appearance, 2nd out of the bullpen here in 2019. So far in a Harbor Hawk uniform, he's gone 8 innings, 0-1 with a 7.87 ERA, 4 walks to 6 strikeouts as he works directly out of the stretch, set to face Kentucky product Arajanu. First offering, good breaking ball, finds the outer black for strike 1. So Quintal, fastball slider guy. As he stares in at the hitter anew, checks the runner at second and delivers. Fastball ripped out to right field. McIntyre taking a couple steps in, has a beat on it and makes the grab. Quick relay back into the infield. So with 2 pitches, Quintal sets down Arajanu for the 2nd out of the inning.
Well, some hard contact, and Cotuit getting a taste of Hyannis' own medicine that time. They've been hitting balls right at people all season. That time, McIntyre barely had to move to reel that one in.
So 2 out, 2 on, and it'll bring up Mason McWhorter from Georgia Southern. Nick Mondak's day ended after 3 1/3 innings. Didn't give up a hit, walked 2, struck out 4, and his line is still open as he's responsible for both Gonzalez at second and Williams at first. Quintal gives a peek over to second, now delivers home. Big cut and a miss. Or rather, McWhorter taps it just foul down the left side. But regardless, it's 0-1. A good breaking ball from Quintal. And he gets ahead again. Joe in his 2019 season, 20 and a third innings, 4 appearances, 3 of them starts. He went 1-0 with a 2.66 ERA. As he sets at the belt, he'll check the runner twice. That's Gonzalez, and he delivers. Swinging a line drive out to right. In comes McIntyre, drops in front of him. Around third, Gonzalez. In comes the throw, and it's going to be cut off by Carlson. No play. Gonzalez scores on an RBI single from Mason McWhorter. And this game's knotted up at 1-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, McWhorter took a fastball down and in from Gontal, turned on it, just sent it into right field. McIntyre came on strong, made a good throw, but cut off by Carlson. This game's knotted up at 1.
Williams went first to third on the play. So runners are on the corners in a 1-1 ball game for Parker Chavers. Coastal Carolina product looking to help out his starting pitcher and college teammate Zach McCambly. Offering, good for a strike off speed. Now Joe stays around the zone pretty good amount. 3 walks to 23 strikeouts in 2019. Of course, a small sample size. But he's got some good command on the mound as he delivers. This is just away. He's had 3 appearances so far in Cape Cod. If you take out the start at Brewster, he's gone 5 innings, giving up just 1 earned run on 4 hits. Throws over to first, back safely with a head-first dive. That's the runner, McWhorter. So really, the only reasoning behind his high ERA was 1 tough outing out at Stony Brook Field against the Brewster Whitecaps back on June the 16th. Aside from that, he's put together 2 really strong appearances in a Hyannis uniform. 1-1, runner takes off, no throw from McDaniel. And just like that, it puts runners on second and third with a 2-1 count as that pitch was outside on a fastball from Quintal. So Hyannis looking to minimize damage here in the bottom of the 4th. Tie ball game. Hunter Goodman sacrifice fly and a Mason McWhorter RBI single. The 2 runs on the board. 2-1. That's down with a breaking ball. 3 balls and 1 strike to the Coastal Carolina product, Chavers. He's 0 for 1 today. He struck out looking. Was the 3rd of 4 Nick Mondout strikeout victims. And currently on the season, he's hitting .238. 3-1 from Quintal. Swing and a high fly ball. This is torched. Deep right field. McIntyre, nothing but a spectator. 3-run missile from Parker Chavers. And he opens this one up in the bottom of the 4th. It's 4-1 Cotuit. Chavers steps on the plate, exchanges helmet taps with teammates all around, and he makes it a 3-1 Kettleers lead here at Lowell Park.
I mean, Chavers absolutely croaked this ball down the right field line. As you mentioned, McIntyre could only watch it sail. An absolute bomb from Parker Chavers.
So that brings up Cam Hill, another left-handed bat. Quintal's first offering, swing and a miss. So after that home run, Mondak's line is officially closed. Both the runners he issued to begin the bottom of the inning are responsible for him, as that ball spiked in the dirt off the foot of the catcher, McDaniel. So 2 earned runs to go with 3 1/3 innings for Mondak. No hits. He walked 2 and struck out 4. Quintal came in relief. He's the man on the mound right now in the bottom of the 4th. But so far has issued himself into a little bit of trouble. He works from the windup now. First base side. Kicks in, delivers. Breaking ball, checks his swing, and he goes around strike 2. The Quintal entered the game, got Arajanu to line out to right. Gave up the RBI single to Mason McWhorter. That scored Nick Gonzalez. But then the 3-run blast from Parker Chavers. 1-2. A brief check swing. Doesn't go around that time. Count evens at 2-2. But Parker Chavers, a no-doubter out to right field, well into the trees, down the right field line. 2-2. Soft ground ball to first. This is going to tail just foul. That was Chaver's second home run of the summer. So now make it 5 Cotuit players with multiple home runs on the season. Chavers with 2, Anu with 2, Schmidt with 2, Gonzalez with 3, Oviedo with 3. And for Cotuit, that was their 16th home run of the season. 2-2 down low, the count runs full. So the Kettleers lead the league by a pretty respectable amount in the home run category. As Quintal fires home, that's a pop foul out of play. So 15 coming into the day. The Chavers 3-run blast made it 16. And for Cotuit, that's a 4 home run lead on the next place Brewster Whitecaps with 12. Offering, cut and a miss, strike 3. Quintal sets down the hitter Cam Hill to end the bottom of the 4th. But the damage has been done at Lowell Park. A 4-spot put up in the bottom of the frame by the Kettleers Ball Club, highlighted by a 3-run blast off the bat of Parker Chavers, his second of the summer. For Cotuit, 3 runs, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on. We'll go to the top of the 5th when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Back here at Lowell Park for action in the top of the 5th. Zach McCambly had a long wait in the dugout for Cotuit, and I'm willing to bet he's thinking it's well worth it. The Kettleers on top 4-1 on Hyannis as we enter play in the 5th. Hunter Goodman, Brooks Carlson, and Chad McDaniel due up. Well, Hunter Goodman responsible for the 1 run that Hyannis has put on the board. It was an RBI sac fly to right field. He swings at the first pitch from McCambly and pops it foul out of play. So he's 0 for 1, but he's been productive. Brooks Carlson and of course, Chad McDaniel to follow. Each of them 0 for 1 tonight. McCambly into the windup, the 0-1, breaking ball left side over the glove of the third baseman Schmidt as it trickles into left. So Hunter Goodman smacks one down the third base line. He's aboard to start things off in the 5th.
Well, we'll see how they rule that. Regardless, Goodman put a decent piece on it. Took a tough hop on the third baseman Schmidt. He couldn't quite glove it. He tried to move that left side of his arm just up toward the letter level, but couldn't quite bring the ball in time. As a result, Goodman stands at first base, so good start for the Harbor Hawks on the top of the 5th.
McCambly turns and fires back toward Goodman. He's back standing. Had a very, very short lead over at first. Just took a couple quick steps back. Carlson digs in from the right side. 0 for 1 was a strikeout victim back in the 2nd inning. First pitch from the right-hander. Breaking ball down, a called strike. The 1 run on 4 hits for Hyannis. 4 runs on just 2 hits for Cotuit, although a couple of walks from the starter Mondak helped out. And then that 3-run home run off the bat of Parker Chavers, an absolute missile down the right field line. Got well past the fence. It's about 320 down the lines here at Lowell Park. Nothing in 1 to count to Carlson, the pitch. Breaking ball dropped in on the outside corner. Carlson a look back toward home plate umpire Ronaldo Cockrum. Shakes the head as he peers down toward Chad Gassman and steps back in with a count at 0-2. Goodman, couple side steps out to a lead at first. The 0-2 to Carlson is down and away. Brooks with a stone cold take on a hard fastball from McCambly. He's worked through this Hyannis lineup pretty seamlessly. Of course, the man at first responsible for getting the better of him a couple times. The 1-2. Working ball, tap foul. Off of the leg of Pasek as he walks down the third baseline, stretching it out. The ball ended up just past the Cotuit dugout down the third baseline. The plate umpire will walk out with a new baseball and put it directly in the glove of McCambly. Still a gorgeous night, a packed crowd here in Cotuit. Lyle touched upon it a bit earlier. No lights here, so a 5 o'clock start time, and this game's been rolling along. We're in the 5th inning as we approach 6:30 Eastern time here in Cape Cod. So McCambly out of the stretch as Carlson digs back into the box. Stares down and gets a sign from Pasek, but now will step off with Goodman retreating back to the bag at first. Right-hander set at the chest, the 1-2 delivery. Up the middle on a couple hops to the shortstop, Oviedo. Flip to second for one, back to first, in time, a double play. 6-4-3, they roll it up, and Carlson bounces in to another double play, and that'll bring up Chad McDaniel with 2 down.
And he kind of just sent one back up the middle. Oviedo took a couple steps to his left. He had the momentum going toward the bag. Pretty easy flip to Gonzalez at second for one, and then a nice turn by the Aggie to fire it over to first in time.
So here's Chad McDaniel from the left side. First pitch, he watches a fastball down, a called strike. McDaniel flew out to Chavers. In right field his first time up. That was back in the 3rd inning. The 0-1. That one slapped into right field, sending Chavers back toward the wall. It's going to get over his head and one hop the wall. McDaniel rounding first. He's thinking 2. He's going to cruise into second with a 2-out double.
A good piece of hitting by Chad McDaniel right there. Just squares one up to right center. Chavers kind of ran straight to his right, didn't take a huge angle back, and as a result, it gets over his head and one hops the wall. So McDaniel standing up at second base, and Jackson Olsen, who's swung a pretty nice bat over the last couple of games that he started in, finds himself in an RBI opportunity.
And you could put a magnifying glass over that. He swung the bat well tonight. And a single back in the 1st inning and lined up to center. Pickoff attempt to center field. It gets off the glove of Gonzalez and heading to third base, Chad McDaniel. That's the 2nd time that McCambly's looked back towards second. Trevor Halver resided there, tried to pick him off at second. So these Hyannis runners taking up a lot of real estate in the head of the right-hander. So Chad McDaniel currently 90 feet away from making this a 2-run ball game. 4-1 Cotuit here in the 5th. Jackson Olsen swings and misses at a breaking ball down and in.
You know, it's funny you say that, Brennan, because you're absolutely right. McCambly has kept a close eye on these runners, but he's kept a close eye on 2 very different guys. Halver, a leadoff hitter who hadn't stolen a base in his career. Meanwhile, Chad McDaniel, who was 2nd on the team in stolen bags, is a catcher at Missouri.
0-1 breaking ball from McCambly, catches the outside part of the plate. Count 0-2 to Olsen. So Jackson trying to hang tough with 2 strikes against the right-hander, an RBI spot. Tapper up the right side, down the first baseline. McCambly off the mound to get it. Shovels to first in time, and that will end the inning. So Olsen tried to hustle down the line and beat McCambly to the bag. Could not. And that is how the top of the 5th inning will end. Still 4-1 with the hometown Kettleers out in front. They're coming back to the dish when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Bottom of the fifth here from Lowell Park in Cotuit. 4-1, the Cavaliers are out in front. A new pitcher on for the Harbor Hawks. It's Cole Pleka, the right-hander out of the University of Dayton, making just his second appearance on the summer. It's been a while since we've seen him. June the 23rd, last weekend against Harwich. He pitched in game 1 of the doubleheader, a loss 7-2. Went 1 inning, gave up 1 hit, and that was it. So Cole on for the second time this summer. He's facing 8-9-1 in the Cavaliers lineup. Adam Oviedo, Cody Pasek, and Nick Gonzalez. So Oviedo steps in from the right side. Pleka winds and fires his first pitch, a fastball high. So just 2 hits for the Cavaliers, but 4 runs on the board. A couple of walks. They haven't squared up the ball all that hard against these Hyannis arms tonight. The 1-0. Another fastball that misses. 2 balls and no strikes to the leadoff man, Oviedo. He's 0 for 1 with the strikeout. That was back in the 3rd inning. Pleka. 1 foot set at each side of the rubber into the windup. Here's the 2-0. Fastball into the dirt. McDaniel picks it on the backhand. Oviedo finds himself well in front. 3 balls, no strikes. Cotuit, we talked about it a bit. Came into tonight's second place in the Western Division. Currently 3 runs ahead of the Harbor Hawks as a fastball misses high and it's a 4-pitch walk to start the outing for Cole Pleka. So Pleka coming on in relief of Joe Quintal, who came on for Nick Mondak, who worked 3 1/3 tonight. Gave up 2 runs, both of them earned. Didn't give up a hit, however. And that's where those couple walks came back to bite Hyannis. So a runner aboard, nobody away now for the number nine man, Cody Pasek. Taking his cuts from the left side. Pleka spins and fires back to first. A high throw held onto by Carlson. Back in with the dive was Oviedo.
That's quite the pickoff move Pleka's got. I mean, fairly quick for a big man, but he fired that thing hard at Brooks Carlson. Fortunately for him, he made the stop in the tag, but...
So Pasek still awaiting the first pitch. It squares around to bunt, drops a beauty down the third baseline, but it rolls just foul off the lip of the grass. DeSantelo came charging in to get it. Oviedo was off on the pitch. So he goes back to the bag at first. Pasek will retreat back to the box. That's the benefit of where Jared DeSantelo plays at the hot corner. Usually even with the bag or just a few steps in on the infield grass where he is currently. The rest of the infield pretty much straight up, with the exception of Carlson holding on the runner. Pleka again a spin and a fire back to Carlson. No tag applied. In diving head first is Oviedo. Seems to be a common trend with a lot of these pitchers on the Cape. Very concerned with base runners aboard. We've seen McCambley on the flip side for the Cavaliers with a handful of pickoff attempts. Pleka's 0-1, squaring to bunt again. He drops a number down in front of the mound. Pleka fires to second for 1. Return back to first to Carlson, not in time. So they get the lead runner Oviedo for the force at second, but Cody Pasek beats it out at first, so he's aboard, trading places with Adam. And back to the top of the order for Nick Gonzalez with 1 down.
Pleka's showing a little bit of athleticism on the mound. I mean, he comes off, fields that play cleanly, a good spin and a hard fire to Olsen at second for 1, and such a good throw that Jackson had a chance to turn it into a double play, but the runner Pasek just beating it out down the line.
So here's Nick Gonzalez. Pleka quickly from the stretch fires a fastball that misses wide. And you touched upon the athleticism that Pleka just flashed there. And at the meet and greet at the mall last Saturday, I knew where you were going with that. Talked about playing shortstop in his high school career for just a brief time. And he said, he's going to go up to Gassman one of these days and say, if we get into a blowout situation, put me in at short. 1-0 fastball sliced foul down the right side.
Yeah, and kids and other fans would come up to him at the mall, and Cole's a nice kid, and he's talking to him, and he's asking, you play baseball? What position do you play? And all the kids will answer. They'd ask him right back, and 6'8", 230-pound Cole Pleka will say, yeah, I play shortstop. Not pitcher, not first baseman. I'm a shortstop.
So the count 1-1. Cole winds and fires a breaking ball that misses inside. Now, Cole, one of the nicest guys you'll meet here on the Cape, but having fun with the kids and parents that were in attendance, and it was great to see how loose Cole was. And Dealing with a 2-1 count here against a tough batter, Nick Gonzalez. Gotten aboard once tonight with a walk, came around to score. That was in the 4th. Cole spin and fire again. Carlson had to go up the ladder to get that one. There's the hard pickoff attempt again. Cole tapping the front of his jersey saying, that's on me.
And Brooks showing some athleticism there. He had to get up off the bag, make a high leap, and snag that ball down to keep it from getting to the fence down the right field line.
Cole peering down at Chad McDaniel for a sign. Now he gets one. Set at the belt, winds and deals a 2-1. Fastball fouled straight back. Just to the left of our table that's set up just to the right of the home plate area. Behind the fence, of course, obviously. Haven't yet seen a ballpark here on the Cape where you might have to bring your glove to the ballpark. Of course, a lot of fencing and netting around the ballparks for precautionary reasons. Big concern across Major League Baseball is bats going flying and baseball striking some fans in the crowd. Taking every safety measure possible. The 2-2. Fastball bouncer down the third baseline. That's foul. A near barehanded grab by the third base coach at Cotuit. Nick Gonzalez never let go of the bat. Takes a quick stroll around the home plate area before doing it again on 2-2. Plecka doing the same. He'll climb the back of the mound to the rubber. Cody Pasek aboard at first. Carlson holding him on to Santalo. A couple steps behind the bag now. Plecka comes set. His 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball cut on and missed. Strike 3. Gets Nick Gonzalez to fan, and there's 2 down.
How's that for the first strikeout of an outing for Cole Plecka? Gets the hottest hitter on the Cape to punch out on an off-speed pitch and puts the second out on the board.
And that is not an easy out. I was just about to mention, while you mentioned it, the hottest hitter on the Cape, 377 coming into tonight. Hyannis has kept him quiet for the most part. Just a walk to speak of for the leadoff man for Cotuit. Here's Casey Schmidt. Batting with 1 on, 2 down in the home half of the 5th inning. 4-1 Kettleers. First pitch from Plecka. Breaking ball down and away. Just past 6:30 here on Cape Cod. Game again. Started at 5. Sun starting to retreat back behind the press box here at Lowell Park. Still engulfing most of the field, however, as the 1-0 pitch misses. Skips past the glove of McDaniel. And the runner aboard at first. That's Pasek. He's going to reach second. So in scoring position for Cotuit with 2 down. And a 2-0 count to Schmidt. Schmidt trying to turn things around for himself tonight. 0 for 2. A strikeout victim as well as he flew out to Rowdy Jordan in center field. Plecka's 2-0. Fastball skied in the air down the left side. DeSantelo ranging toward the fence. And he will run out of room. He'll watch it sail out of play. So Jared gave it a look down the left field line. He's had a couple of attempts over there in foul ground. There's a bit more shade as some trees are shielding the sun. So the count moves to 2-1 on Schmidt. Plecka receives a new baseball, and he's on the mound ready to go already. Pasek, a modest lead off a second, not being held on by Olsen or Dunn. Plecka's 2-1. Fastball in the air to deep center field, sending Jordan back to the track at the wall. It's gone. Oh, and it bounces up off the wall. So a run's going to come in to score. That's Cody Pasek. And trotting into second base with a 2-out double is Casey Schmidt.
And he gave that one a ride. And that was really, really close to getting out of here. And it's kind of a funny perception from where we're sitting. Is it the shade kind of looks like it starts right as you get beyond the fence. It sent Jordan back to the wall. He slipped a little bit. As a result, it drops behind him. And it looked a little bit like for a second it got out until it one-hopped the wall. But for Casey Schmidt, he picks up his first hit of the day, and he extends the Cotuit lead to 4 runs. Now they sit at 5-1.
So that was a shot to center field off the bat of Schmidt. This is Dante Williams. Strikeout and a walk for him on the evening as he watches the first pitch breaking ball miss away. And Rowdy Jordan went back a long way to the track at the wall. Ultimately, and the ball ended up one-hopping it, but from where we're sitting, Lyle, you touched upon it. the shade covering a bit of the fence. Count 1-0 to Williams. Pleca's pitch, a fastball low. Jordan slowed up once he reached the wall. Looked up, not sure if that one was going to travel over the fence or stay in the ballpark. Did a nice job of corralling it and firing it back in quickly. And now another runner in scoring position. Still 2 down here for Cotuit. Pleca's next offering. Fastball foul tipped off the glove of McDaniel, 2-1. Flashing their power in this ball game tonight against Hyannis. 3-run home run, of course, from Parker Chambers earlier on in the ball game. And Casey Schmidt with the RBI double. Dante Williams has worked himself into a hitter's count here, 2-1. Pleca comes set at the belt. Couple peeks back towards second. Now he fires. Breaking ball is in there. The count evens 2-2.
That's a sharp breaking ball from Pleca. I mean, that had some real good spin to it, and it drops right at the knees at the last second.
Good pitch to put him back into a 2-strike count. Trying to wiggle out of a Kettleers threat here in the 5th. Tall right-hander winds and fires. Breaking ball in the dirt, and the count's full. McDaniel can't find it. It's under his legs. Now he does. No advancement for the runner at second, Schmidt. So the count swells full here on Williams. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 down, 1 runner aboard. Williams, the Arizona center fielder, trying to keep this one alive. Like a long stare down at McDaniel. Brings the left foot slightly in front of the right, kicks and fires. Fastball that was sent down the right field line, foul. So just 3 hits on the board for Cotuit, but 5 runs in the column that really matters. 1 run on 5 hits on the flip side for Hyannis. Cole Pleca trying to work out of this 5th inning, get his bats back to the plate to try and claw back into this one. Dealing with a 3-2 count against the center fielder, Dante Williams. Now time is called. He'll step out. And again for Cole, just his 2nd appearance of the summer. Worked a spotless inning a week ago against Harwich. And has run into a bit of trouble here against the 2nd place Kettleers. The next payoff pitch. Breaking ball up the middle, off the leg of Pleca, deflects toward the shortstop. Olsen, he'll have no play. The throw back to third, the tag, not in time. Rounding third on the play was Schmidt. He advanced. Good awareness from Olsen to be heads up and give it back to DeSantelo at third to try and apply the tag, but not in time. Is reaching first on the infield single, Dante Williams.
Well, Pleca might have saved a run with that kick save on the mound, as that one looked like it was destined for center field. Hard ground ball up the middle, but right off his foot, bounced toward Olsen at short, and it stays on the infield. And DeSantelo almost put that tag down in time. He looked a little bit frustrated down there, so he was either visually upset about the call or maybe knowing that he just missed the tag or put it down a little bit late. As a result, keeps any further runs off the board and runners on the corners.
So here's a Rajanu. Runner takes off for second. McDaniel's throw down on a hop. It's going to skip into center field, and the run's going to come in to score. Casey Schmidt crosses the plate. Cotuit extends the lead to 5 on the low throw from McDaniel. It's 6-1.
Well, 2 outs, runners on the corners. Mike Roberts not fearful of being aggressive on the base pads. Sends Williams, who's got some speed, towards second. McDaniel, as a result, puts a low throw down. With 2 outs, he was just opting to go get the lead runner, but as a result, too low in the dirt, trickles into center, and it allows Schmidt to score pretty easily from third.
Well, the second base bag has been dislodged. So we have some field maintenance for the moment. Chad McDaniel on his way out to the mound to talk to Pleca. Williams is aboard at second base. Count 1-0 to Rajanu, but 6-1 Cotuit. In more important matters, 6-1 on the scoreboard, a 5-run lead. They've racked up 4 hits now in the ball game. Cole Pleca running into a wall here in this inning of relief. So the bag at second has been put back in place. Williams putting the helmet back on, back to the bag, and Arajanu getting set to step back in and will resume play. Once again, a picture-perfect evening here from Lowell Park. Hyannis trying to make the scoreboard look a bit prettier. Lucca needing to wiggle out of some threat here in the fifth from the hometown Kettleers. The 1-0. Fastball that misses away. The right-hander from Dayton trying to work his way back against one of the most powerful hitters on the Cape, a 2-0. Fastball popped up into left field. Racing Hover back toward the wall. He's got a beat on it at the wall. He makes the catch a few feet in front. The Sun Devil had a long way to go to track that one down, but he does. And that gets Hyannis out of the inning. But more damage from the Cotuit bats. It's 6-1. When we return, Hyannis back to the dish in the top of the sixth on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Rowdy Jordan, Trevor Hover, and Jared DeSantalo due up for Hyannis in the top of the sixth. We roll along a new arm into the game for the hometown Kettleers. Number 32, Chris Holcomb, making his fifth appearance of the summer, his fourth in relief. He's gone 7 innings, struck out 4, walked 3, the record of 1-0 and a 1.28 ERA to go with it. Rowdy Jordan digs in 0 for 2, still in search of his first hit of the summer. Looks at a first pitch fastball that missed in the dirt. So Hyannis has out-hit Cotuit, but trails by a boatload on the scoreboard, 6-1. Jordan stands in, awaits the 1-0 from the left-hander. Pumps in a fastball for a strike. It evens the count. Trevor Hover loosening up in the on-deck area. Been swinging a hot bat, trying to get back to the plate with hopes of a rally from Hyannis here in the sixth. The 1-1 fouled straight back. Off-speed delivery from Holcomb that time. Jordan just a bit underneath. He fouls it straight back. So the count 1-2. Jordan featured in center field. Bryce Teodosio's been featured there so many times this season. Moved to right field last night, getting the night off tonight. Holcomb's 1-2 pitch. Fastball in the dirt, knocked down by Pasek. It trickles to the backstop. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jordan takes a step out, spits on the batting gloves. Left foot out of the box, right foot in. Now back into the stance. Holcomb's glove over the head, the 2-2. Ripped to third, right at Schmidt. He puts it away with the glove stab, and there's one down. So some more tough luck for Rowdy Jordan. Put that one on a rope to third base, but Schmidt didn't even have to get out of the defensive stance to put it away. Right into the glove, one down. Now here's Trevor Hauver. 1 for 2 on the night. A single as well as a fly out to center. And he swiped a bat. Touched upon it a little bit. Very uncharacteristic of Trevor. Takes a breaking ball down and in. He's a leadoff man by trade at Arizona State, but has not swiped an entire bag in his career. One of breaking ball misses down. Sun beginning to set behind the trees here at Lowell Park. Baseball plays on, the 2-0. Fastball just off the outside part of the plate. 3 balls, no strikes. That one came in at 87. Radar gun just to the top right corner of the scoreboard here at Lowell Park. Trevor in the driver's seat 3-0 and takes a breaking ball down and in, and he walked him. So a 4-pitch walk for Trevor. So he's aboard with 1 out. That'll give way to the cleanup man, Jared DeSantolo. Jared making his way to the plate. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Single in the second, he came around to score. That's the lone run Hyannis has put up on the board. Came off a sac fly from Hunter Goodman. Now as Jared digs in, he hasn't seen a lot of time against lefties, but he's been hitting both righties and lefties quite well here on the Cape this summer. 286 average against righties as Holcomb fires back to first, Hauver back standing. DeSantolo has been a mainstay in this Harbor Hawk lineup for the entirety of the 2019 summer here on July 1st. Still awaiting the first pitch. Another check on Hauver at first. He's back standing again. These Cotuit pitchers sniffing out something from Hauver on the base paths. First pitch to DeSantolo. Fastball up in the zone. Trickled out of the glove of Pasek just off to his right. Hauver stays put at first. Hyannis put up 4 runs in the win last night at Bourne. 4 runs on 6 hits to be exact. 1 run on 5 hits tonight. They haven't racked up the same amount of walks that they did last night. 1-0 to DeSantolo. Upstairs again. 2 balls, no strikes. Man on deck, Lucas Dunn, also has a single on the night. So this is the part of the lineup Hyannis wants to be featured at the plate to try and claw back into this one. Hauver a very short lead at first, but Holcomb still not giving in. Checks back on him again. And DeSantolo patiently waiting for Holcomb to deliver the 2-0. Left-hander comes into the set, stares at Hauver, looks back to the plate, now kicks and fires. Fastball, that's in there at the knees for a called strike. Left-hander stuffing one in at the bottom of the zone. 2-1 to Jared. Well, a couple of nights ago after the 6-0 loss to Harwich, pitching coach Ray Korn touched upon it a little bit as the 2-1 fastball misses in the dirt. You can attribute part of the struggles to the Hyannis bats just roping balls right at fielders. Just like the one we saw from Rowdy Jordan to lead off this inning. Sent one on a line, hard hit ball right at Schmidt at third base. And here's DeSantolo and another good hitter's count at 3-1. Holcomb's offering. That's in there to make the count full, right down Broadway. Put one right on a silver platter. DeSantolo didn't offer at it. So a payoff pitch upcoming. 1-on-1 down for Jared. The 3-2 from the southpaw. Downstairs, back-to-back walks. And Hauver will advance up to second. DeSantolo down to first. Second time he's been aboard tonight, and that'll give way to Lucas Dunn. So Lucas again, a single and a pop out in foul territory to McWhorter at first. Basic has gone out to the mound to have a quick conversation with Holcomb. He returns back to his spot behind the plate. Lucas Dunn kicking some dirt out of the cleats, patiently waiting. This ball game absolutely flew through the first 3 innings of play. Now here in the 6th, hitting a slow spot. Cotuit putting up 6 runs on the board in innings 4 through 6, and now time is called as the entire infield will join on the mound along with Pasek and the Cotuit manager. That looks like it's going to be the day for the left-hander. There is some action down in the Cotuit bullpen, but for now, just a conversation on the mound. Dunn has retreated back to the on-deck area, having a quick conversation with McIntyre. And now home plate umpire Ronaldo Cockrum on his way out to the mound saying, let's hurry this up, guys. Conversation still ensuing. Cotuit looking down toward that bullpen, trying to see if they'll make the change. Well, the hitter will be Lucas Dunn, we know that. Just a matter of not whether Holcomb will be the pitcher. And it looks like he will be. So Holcomb stays in the ball game. Dunn finally making his way back to the plate. Couple runners aboard for Hyannis. They came into tonight last in the league in walks drawn. They've tacked on a few here tonight. They racked up a few last night as well. Picked up a couple off the Nick Richmond, who came in relief. He was passed up by Wareham and picked up by Bourne. Was thrown into action last night. But here it's Chris Holcomb against Lucas Dunn. Steps in from the right side, takes a look at a curveball in for a strike. So Hyannis trying to pose a threat of their own here in the top of the 6th. We've got a couple runners aboard and the right man at the plate to do so. Holcomb a long stare at Hopper at second, now comes home. Fastball in the dirt. And the count levels at 1s. 88 miles an hour on the gun. Fastball that was in the dirt. Holcomb kicks and fires a 1-1 to Dunn. It's inside. That ran in and got him. Bounced right off the inner thigh. Went back toward the Hyannis dugout. Dunn shaking out the leg. Tosses to the leg guard. And it's going to be bases loaded here for Mitch McIntyre in a big spot. So 3 straight free passes, 2 walks, and a hit by pitch. So Dunn's aboard for the second time tonight, although not in the most orthodox way. And now that will probably be the day for Holcomb. Once again, Cotuit manager emerges from the dugout. Holcomb staring him down as he makes his slow walk out to the mound, and that will be it. So a long meeting on the mound. Holcomb finally gives the ball up. New pitcher coming in from the bullpen here from Cotuit at Lowell Park. We have a score of 6-1 when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back here from Lowell Park off the pitching change. The new man into the game out of Ball State University. It's Kyle Nicholas, making his 5th appearance of the summer, all of them coming out of the bullpen. Coming on in relief of Chris Holcomb, who surrendered a couple of walks and then a hit by pitch that has the bases loaded here for Mitch McIntyre. So a big spot here in the ball game. Hyannis with an opportunity to crawl back into it. First pitch is a fastball that misses away. Well, so far this season for Nicholas, as I mentioned, the 4 appearances. He's gone 8 2/3 in those times out of the pen. He's racked up 3 saves for Cotuit, part of the 7 wins they have on the season. He's walked 6, struck out 12. An ERA slightly above 4. 1-0 fastball down. McIntyre, a hard take. Fastball just below the knees. Tough one to lay off, but it's 2-0. Mitch placed in right field tonight by Chad Gassman. 0 for 2 on the evening thus far. Trying to break through for the Harbor Hawks here in a big way. 2-0 pitch from Nicholas. Fastball. That paints the outside corner. So 2 balls and a strike to Mitch as he adjusts the batting gloves just outside the box. Trevor Hopper at third, Jared DeSantolo at second, and Lucas Dunn aboard at first. He'll just 1 down here in the 6th inning. Nicholas winds and fires. In the air to left center. Falling fast, ranging after it Williams, but the left fielder Hill cuts him off to make the grab. Hopper tagging and scoring from third base to make it 6-2. So a sacrifice fly for Mitch McIntyre. It'll be 2 on and 2 down for Hunter Goodman. So Hopper races home to score. That run is charged to Holcomb. Once again, 6-2 here from Lowell Park. Still a lot of time for Hyannis to try and climb back into it. 2 runs on 5 hits as opposed to 6 on 4 hits for the hosting Kettleers. Brooks Carlson waits on deck, but the hitter Hunter Goodman at the plate already has a sac fly on the evening. First pitch from Nicholas cuts and misses at a hard breaking ball. 86 on the gun. Last time Nicholas made an appearance out of the pen for these Kettleers, part of a 3-3 tie against Orleans. Actually tossed an inning and 2/3, gave up 3 runs on just 1 hit, but walked 4. Fastball pumped in for a strike. Down and into Goodman. Taps some dirt out of the cleats, now will step back in. Trying to keep this top of the 6th inning going for Hyannis. Goodman an RBI, as well as racked up a single tonight. That was back in the 5th inning. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Nicholas with a fist pump as he walks off the mound. He fans Goodman on a hard fastball outside. And that is how the 6th inning will end. Hyannis pushes across 1 on a sac fly from Mitch McIntyre. But it's the Kettleers 6, the Harbor Hawks 2. We head to the bottom half of the frame when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Action in the bottom of the 6th. 6-2 our scores. We return from Lowell Park. Mason McWhorter, Parker Chambers, and Cam Hill do up. Bo Pleka back to the hill for Hyannis. Ran into some trouble in his inning of relief in the 5th. Came on in substitution for Joe Quintal. First pitch of the inning. Fastball down and away. McWhorter tonight, a single and an RBI. as well as he flew out to Lucas Dunn at second base, a short, shallow one. Pleca bends the knees out of the windup and fires a fastball in for a strike. The count evens. Pleca wide stance atop the mound, one-footed with each side of the slab. And now time is asked for at the plate by McWhorter. Pleca will take a stroll down the back of the hill. Cole's 2019 season at Dayton went 56 and a third as the 1-1 pitch, a fastball in for a strike at the knees. Gave up 53 hits, yielded 30 earned runs. But how about this for a stat? 81 strikeouts to just 29 walks. And 4-3 with a 4.79 ERA to go with it. But an outstanding year for Cole at Dayton, the 1-2. Down and away. Count levels 2-2. Just 29 walks in 56 and a third innings. And an incredible number for Cole. Had great command of the strike zone. The 2-2 to McWhorter. Fastball cut and a miss, strike 3. So down he goes for the first out of the bottom half of the 6th inning. Right on cue. Mentioned those 81 strikeouts. Cole picks up another. Well, that'll bring up Parker Chavers, the man responsible for where we stand in this game for the most part. And a 3-run absolute towering blast down the right field line. That back in the 4th inning that drove in McWhorter and Dante Williams. First pitch to him. Fastball in the dirt. Now, Pleca didn't have any strikeouts in his first appearance of the season. So that one, his first of the summer, the 1-0. Breaking ball slap foul off to the left, up and over the grandstands, out of play. The 1-1 is the tall right-hander. Will get back on top of the hill. Cole, a very imposing figure. He joins a bunch of tall Hyannis relievers out of the pen. He stands at 6'8". Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball on the ground right side, right at Lucas Dunn. Picks it up, throws it on to Carlson at first, in time, 2 down. So Chavers, a race just like that for the second out of the inning. That'll transition things to the left fielder, Cam Hill from Kentucky. 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout in back-to-back innings in the 3rd and 4th. And here he is in the 6th, trying to extend things for the hometown Kettleers. So Pleca bends his knees out of the wind, fires in a slow breaking ball in for a strike. Dropped in at 79 on the outside corner. Pleca winds and delivers the next 0-1. Fastball in the dirt, knocked down by McDaniel. That trickled just into the left-handed batter's box. Pleca shakes off a couple signs, disagrees with McDaniel. Now he's got one. 1-1 pitch, cut and a miss. Top hand came off the bat from Hill. Well behind a big fastball at 93. And that's right about where Pleca will sit with that heater. Low to mid-90s that time. 93, plenty enough to blow it by Hill. 1 strike away from wiggling out of the 6th. There it is. Breaking ball outside, the count levels. Adam Oviedo awaits on deck. Should he get a shot here in the 6th? Would be his 3rd plate appearance of the night. Board wants a strikeout and a walk. But right now it's Cam Hill at the plate battling with Pleca in a 2-2 count. Right-hander kicks and deals. Breaking ball in there. Strike 3 called. He got him. On the outside corner, Pleca strides off the mound. And that will do it for action in the 6th. The Kettleers 6, the Harbor Hawks 2. Let's go to the 7th here from Lowell Park on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back here from Lowell Park, let's go to the 7th. Brooks Carlson, Chad McDaniel, and Jackson Olson due up for Hyannis. Trying to claw their way back into this one ever so slowly. They trail things 6-2. The right-hander Kyle Nicholas back on the bump for Cotuit. As Brooks digs in 0 for 2 tonight. Been another rough one for him, but trying to turn things around here in the 7th to get Hyannis back into the ballgame. Swings at a first pitch fastball and rips one down the right field line, looking up. And that one is going to be gone. So just like that, how about it? Brooks Carlson drives one down the right field line. Shavers got a late break on it. I don't think he realized that one got out of here in a hurry. So the first of the summer for Brooks Carlson, and how about that for a slump buster? Just like that, 6-3, a helmet tap on the way by for Chad McDaniel. And Hyannis starts out the 7th with a bang.
You've been on cue with a couple things today, Brendan. We were just talking about looking to kind of jumpstart the summer a little bit. We know Brooks has got some power, an opposite field shot.
So Chad McDaniel was looking to do the same thing going yard, almost came out of his shoes on a first pitch breaking ball, swung on and missed for a strike. And that has got to feel absolutely amazing for Brooks. 157 coming into tonight. Was 0 for 2 till that blast as McDaniel turns one around opposite way to left field. Coming on was Hill. He makes the grab on the move. Well, that's the first out of the 7th. But back to that shot from Carlson for just a second. He's had some nice batting practices over the past couple games. It was only a matter of time, we figured, before he would get going. Trevor Hauber talked about a slump buster before the game with you, Lyle, and tonight it's been Brooks Carlson with that home run to make it 6-3. There's Jackson Olson with one down. Olson tonight has found his way aboard once. That was way back to lead off the ball game. First pitch from Nicholas on the way, a fastball in for a strike on the outside part of the plate.
Well, to go back to Carlson just for a minute, I mean, we talked about Nick Gonzalez and the summer he's had.
A one on the way to Jackson, a breaking ball down.
But Gonzalez, we kind of said nobody should really be surprised by the way he's hitting up here because it doesn't matter that he's in a small conference like the WAC. Those numbers are real numbers. 432 is 432. And for Brooks, it doesn't matter that he's in a small conference. He's hit 340 for 2 straight years.
Olson swings and lifts the 1-1 off to the left out of play over the grandstands. So a ball and 2 strikes to the Hyannis shortstop.
Yeah, so when you're Brooks and you hit 343 as a freshman, you hit 345 as a sophomore, you've hit 16 career home runs, that's real. It doesn't matter that he's in a small conference.
1-2 to Jackson, spiked in the dirt off the chest protector of Pasek, count evens. Now for Carlson, we talked about the monster year he had at Sanford for the first week of the season, and we expected him to light it up here on the Cape, and perhaps that home run's the start of it. We know that kid can hit. The 2-2 to Jackson. Fastball down the left field line, falling fast. It's fair. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Jackson turning the Blazers on around first. He's thinking second. He'll get there without a throw. So a double for Hyannis with one down from Jackson Olson, and that'll give things to Rowdy Jordan.
Well, Jackson Olson, again, we talk about a 2-hit night tonight. He put together what was a 2-hit night against Chatham on Saturday. So a guy that's, again, starting to find his groove again. He had the great night to begin opening night. He got off to a little bit of a skid, which is not uncommon for any player here in Cape Cod. And now here he is. Scorches a double down the left field line and puts himself in scoring position.
Well, Chad Gassman has made his way from the third base coaching box out to second base. Having a conversation with Olson with that left foot on the bag. A quick conference, and Gassman will retreat back to the third baseline. Not quite sure what that was about.
I think it might have been, I think Olson might have gotten a bug in his eye or just something that was kind of caught in his left eye for a second, but he's fine as he's just standing on second base now.
Well, now he gathers a short lead. Rowdy Jordan in from the left side. Still in search of his first hit. Another pickoff attempt to second base. Olson's back safely. That's the third time that one of these Cotuit arms has tried to go to second base. You saw it once with Trevor Hauber. Chad McDaniel ended up taking third on a high throw. Bit unusual for these Cotuit arms. Some of these runners they're going after. First pitch to Jordan into the dirt. Knocked down by Pasek. It's in between the legs of Jordan. Count 1-0. So Rowdy's still in search of that first elusive hit of the summer. 0 for 3 tonight. Put one on a line to third base, but it was reeled in by Schmidt. Didn't even have to move the last time Jordan was up at the plate. Nicholas couple checks on second, the 1-0, cut and a miss. Fastball on the outside at 94. Well, Nicholas, the guy out of this Cotuit bullpen, he throws hard. Has the ability to go up the ladder, and a couple times here and there is clocked in at 100. The 1-1. Breaking ball tapped up the right field side, but foul. So the count moves to 1-2 on Rowdy. And it's not like Jordan hasn't been making any contact. He's been hitting the ball, and pretty well. Just not coming to him just yet. Steps back in with a 1-2 count, one down. Jackson Olsen out at second base in scoring position. Hyannis trying to work their way back from a 6-3 deficit. The 1-2 from Nicholas. Fastball in the dirt, strike three. It gets away from Pasek up the right side. He'll fire down to first to get him. No advance from Olsen at second, and there's two down.
Well, just got ready to chase one out in the dirt there for the second out of the inning. Nicholas picks up his second strikeout, and Trevor Hover, who's already got a hit today, pulls a walk and a run scored, has a chance to drive one in and cut away at the lead.
So here is Trevor. He'll step in from the left side. Jackson Olsen gathering a lead off of second base. Trevor's been aboard twice. He's come around to score a run and swipe the first bag of his collegiate career. First pitch from Nicholas. Fastball right down Main Street for a strike, 0-1. So Nicholas trying to lock the door momentarily here on this Hyannis comeback in the seventh. They put up one in the frame off the Brooks Carlson home run to lead things off. Nicholas 2 strikes away from wiggling out of this one, the 0-1. Into the dirt, breaking ball knocked down by Pasek. Olsen was about a quarter way down the line, retreats back to the bag at second. The count's 1-1. And we move slowly toward nightfall here at Lowell Park. The sun is mostly gone from the field of play with the exception of the right field corner. Again, this ballpark, one of the gems here on Cape Cod. We were treated to a ball game in Chatham back on Saturday. A 1-1. That one in the air to left field, sending Hill on the move toward the line. He'll make the grab, and that ends the inning. So Hover gave one a ride down the left field line, just not quite deep enough, as Hill had plenty of time to range over and make the grab. That ends the inning. Hyannis pushes across one on the solo blast from Brooks Carlson. We get to the bottom of the frame with Cotuit coming back to the plate, leading by 3 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Adam Oviedo, Cody Pasek, Nick Gonzalez set to come to the plate. The 8-9-1 of the Kettleers lineup here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Cotuit leads 6-3, and after 2 innings of work from Cole Pletka out of the bullpen, Hyannis calls in their 4th arm of the game, the right-hander Alex Garbrick out of Moorhead State, as the righty kicks and deals to the hitter Oviedo, who swings and chops one foul off his left leg inside the batter's box. Garbrick ran toward home plate to try to pick up the baseball, but home plate umpire Ronaldo Cockrum says foul ball as he waves his 2 hands in the air. Garbrick making his 3rd appearance on Cape Cod, 2nd out of the bullpen. He gave up 2 earned on 3 hits the last time he went out in an inning of work against Harwich on June the 23rd. Offering down and away with a breaking ball. It's 1-1. So Garbrick flashes that fastball breaking ball combo. Oviedo, the now former TCU Horned Frog. He's slightly bent in the box. Garbrick delivers, fastball just away. That clocks in at 91 miles an hour. Oviedo's set to transfer to Oral Roberts when he's once eligible to play baseball again. Here he is on Cape Cod. He's got 3 home runs on the year. Came into the day hitting .268. Garbrick winds and deals. Fastball dribbled foul. Strikeout and a walk today for the former TCU product. Steps out of the box, puts his right hand to the bill of his helmet. Cotuit with those maroon helmets and the white lettering. Oviedo wiggles the bat above his right shoulder. Garbrick gets the sign and fires. Down low with a breaking ball, it's 3-2. So Cotuit, 6-3 lead, all 6 runs coming within the course of the 4th and 5th innings. Garbrick into the motions, the full count offering. Checks his swing, appeal down to first, does not go around, and Oviedo draws his 2nd walk in as many at-bats. Or rather, that should be plate appearances, as he's 0 for 1 with 2 walks now today, as he reaches base to begin the bottom of the 7th, bringing up the catcher Cody Pasek.
And that was a very close check swing. Appeal down to first from Brian Troop. No go, he said, but Oviedo's locked down a couple times tonight with a few walks.
Pasek today, 0 for 2, reached base once and scored. Left-handed hitting catcher, stares down the righty Garbrick, who's into the stretch, offers, shows bunt, pulls back, and it's called a strike on the inside corner. So walks have been a little bit of the Achilles heel for Garbrick so far on Cape Cod. He didn't have any in his last appearance, to be fair. But he threw 2 1/3 innings, giving up 5 base on balls against Brewster his first time out. Fires over to first. Back safe with a head first slide, the runner Oviedo. Cotuit's stolen 17 bases as a team so far this summer. Gonzalez has 4 of them. Cam Hill with 7. He's in the lineup as well today. Garbrick fires home, another squared bunt. Breaking ball out in front of the plate, chested up by McDaniel. No advancement from the runner Oviedo at first. Adam only has 1 stolen base. But Garbrick finds himself in a 1-1 count. He's got that glove tucked in toward his left shoulder, staring down the hitter Cody Pasek out of the University of Maine. Moorhead State Eagle comes set, fires. Inside fastball. Pasek dodges out of the way, and it's 2-1. Hyannis has still out-hit the Kettleers today. Cotuit's only got 4 hits, but man, have they capitalized. 3-run blast from Parker Chavers in the 4th. RBI double from Casey Schmidt. The 2 hits looming large here today. Offering from Garbrick up high, shows bunt again and pulls back. It's 3-1. Mason McWhorter was also responsible for an RBI single. And the 1 hit that didn't result in an RBI, or a run scored for the player, Dante Williams, where he's singled in the 5th, stole 2nd, and was stranded there. 3-1 from Garbrick. Tapped on a bunt down the first base line. Alex fields cleanly, flips over to Carlson at first in time. Oviedo moves down to 2nd on the play. So a successful sacrifice bunt from the main product, Cody Pasek, puts a man on 2nd with 1 down for the leadoff man, Nick Gonzalez.
And that's exactly how you want to play small ball. Pasek dropping down a beauty just in between the mound and the first baseline. Garbrick showing some nice hustle to get off the mound and corral it. An easy flip to Carlson, but the runner advances into scoring position.
So Nick Gonzalez steps to the plate with a 7-game hitting streak potentially hanging in the balance. He's got those knees bent from the right side as the 5'10" second baseman sees the first pitch, swings away, and comes up empty. Garbrick comes off a solid year at Morehead State. Went 58 in the third innings pitched. 10 starts and 19 appearances. ERA sat at 4.32. Continues to work from the stretch. He'll set right above the belt, give the runner at second a look. That's Oviedo. Now Garbrick looks a second time, fires home. Fastball runs away. That one touches 93. So Garbrick with a fastball that usually sits from the low to mid-90s. Awaiting on deck, number 2 hitter Casey Schmidt, who's already recorded an RBI double today. Dunn giving a little bit of a creep at second. Now Garbrick fires home. Gonzalez swings and shoots one deep down the right field line. McIntyre moving over toward the line, and it hooks just foul. So Gonzalez will walk back to the plate. The at-bat will continue, only it'll be with a 1-2 count. Garbrick will get a new baseball as he works back to the mound. But again, the tough thing for Alex at school was the walk rate. He gave up 37 free passes in those 58 innings, and he struck out just under 70 batters. So he's got some swing and miss in his arsenal. There's no question about that. For him, it's just all about fastball command and good control of those pitches. Gonzalez back into the box. He flips the bat out toward Garbrick twice. Now he's into his stance as Alex gets the sign from the catcher, Chad McDaniel. He'll peek at the runner and come home. Breaking ball in the dirt, kicks to McDaniel's right. Runner taking off, no throw. Oviedo slides in headfirst safely, and he now stands 90 feet away from the 7th Cotuit run of the evening. So Gonzalez has himself an RBI opportunity as the Hyannis infield is going to shade in. Head coach Chad Gassman opting to try and keep the Kettleers off the board any further. Makes sense. Hyannis and Cotuit getting pretty late into the ballgame. It's the bottom of the 7th. 3-run advantage for the Kettleers. 2-2 from Garbrick. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big punch out as he gets the hottest hitter on the Cape, Nick Gonzalez, to fan for the second out of the bottom of the 7th.
And that's the second time Gonzalez has been punched out by the Hyannis staff tonight. That time a nice breaking ball snapped off from Garbrick. He's been pretty solid in his outing in relief here.
The Dayton Flyer Cole Pletka got Gonzalez once. Now the Morehead State Eagle Alex Garbrick gets him again. So it'll bring up Casey Schmidt, the San Diego State Aztec. First offering, swing and a miss. Off speed, pulls the strings on the hitter Schmidt, and it's 0-1. Schmidt today, 1 for 3. Once again had that RBI double. Garbrick will check the runner at third. Not much of a lead from Oviedo, and opts to work out of the stretch. He offers check swing in the dirt, appeal down to first. Does not go around according to first base umpire Brian Troop. One and one the count. Schmidt gets into his stance. Pretty straight up in the right side of the box. The offering from Garbrick. Good fastball, but it runs just outside. So Casey Schmidt came off a phenomenal freshman year, where he was the first San Diego State Aztec to gain an All-American honor since Steven Strasburg. He went 3-3 with a 3.77 ERA. This is back in 2018. Alex is offering, swinging a high drive, deep center field. Rowdy Jordan going back, still going, looks up, and it's out of here. 2-run missile, Casey Schmidt here in the bottom of the 7th frame. It's 8-3 Kettleers on the second Cotuit home run of the evening. Schmidt punches his third long ball in a Cavaliers uniform. Helmet taps go all around as he trots back to the dugout with a 5-run cushion for his ball club.
Well, that was just a hanging breaking ball from Garbrick, and Schmidt lost it. Absolutely sends a blast out to dead center. Jordan had no chance to even try and hope to make a play on that one. Well out of here into the first row of trees.
Now that brings up new hitter Dante Williams, swings away, sends the first pitch out to left. Hover right there, and he makes the grab, coming a couple steps in. So it's 8-3 Cotuit here through 7 frames. Garbrick struck out Nick Gonzalez, but gave up the 2-run blast to Casey Schmidt. For Cotuit in the inning, 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. We'll go to the 8th when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Middle of the Hyannis order coming to the plate here in the top of the 8th inning from Lowell Park. Jared DeSantolo, Lucas Dunn, Mitch McIntyre looking to chip away at an 8-3 deficit put on by the Cotuit Ball Club. The right-hander Kyle Nicholas out of Ball State back on the mound as DeSantolo steps into the box, then out, now back in. Left-handed bat resting on his left shoulder. First offering, it's a called strike off speed. DeSantolo 1 for 2 today. A walk and a run scored to go along with a looking strikeout. Nicholas will get the sign from his catcher Pasek, winds and deals. Good breaking ball, misses inside though. So Jared DeSantolo, all that guy has done so far since coming up to Cape Cod is hit and hit and hit. Coming into today's ball game, he was 8th in the league in batting average. 1-1, fastball at the knees, 96 miles an hour from the right-hander, and it's 1-2. So Jared's got another hit today already. Singled and scored in the second. That was 1 of 3 Hyannis runs. And the earliest form as well, as he scored on the Goodman sac fly. 1-2 up high. DeSantolo hit just under 300 in his season at FAU. Nicholas with the infield playing straight up. Peeks over the glove, now ready to go. Offering, runs away. Full count to DeSantolo, who, along with doing nothing but hit, has also walked at a great rate. He issued his 9th of the season back in the 6th inning. And now the offering. Downstairs, ball 4. So Jared DeSantolo make it double-digit walks here in 2019 as he issues his 10th free pass of the season, jogging down to first to segue things to Lucas Dunn. So for Kyle Nicholas, that's the first walk he's issued so far today. And Dunn coming up, also 1 for 2. Much like Jared, he's got a single as well as a free pass, except he was hit by a pitch. Righty bends his knees as Nicholas fires over to first, a B move, and back safely to Santalo. Dunn will flip the bat around the zone a couple times. Nicholas now a hard fire over to first. Jared's back with a head first dive again. So Hyannis looking to chip away at an 8-3 deficit. Cotuit has piled it on only 5 hits today, offering to Dunn downstairs. Put up 4 runs in the 4th inning, 2 in the 5th, and then 2 in the 7th. For Hyannis, it's been much more sporadic and hasn't come in bunches the way it has for Cotuit. 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. Nicholas, the stretch and the offering, breaking ball in the dirt. It's 2-0. So Hyannis fresh off a 4-2 victory over the Bourne Braves last night, where the pitching was absolutely phenomenal. 5 strong innings from Billy Corcoran at a pit. In fact, Billy just made 1 bad pitch in his entire outing as Henry Davis got the best of him with a 2-run home run. But aside from that, Ben Abram, Nolan Crisp came on to finish the final 4 innings of the game, combining to give up just 3 hits, all those coming from Abram. No runs, no walks, and they combined for 5 punch-outs. Mike Roberts calls time as he issues a mound conference with his right-hander Kyle Nicholas, the catcher Cody Pasek, and the rest of the infield as well. Dunn opts to stay in the box and just take a few practice swings while the meeting goes on. Now he'll step out. But Hyannis as a whole, if you look at their calendar week going from Sunday to Sunday, date-wise from what would have been June the 23rd all the way to June the 30th, they picked up 3 wins in the time. 1 over Harwich at home, 1 against Falmouth on the road, another against Bourne at home. That was last night on a Sunday evening. So they started to find their groove a little bit. In their first 2 wins, the offense combined for 17 runs, while last night it was the pitching kind of anchoring the victory. Meeting adjourns. Nicholas back onto the mound, gets his sign into the stretch with Dunn wiggling the bat above his right shoulder. Offering in, fastball jackknives him, it's 3-0. Meanwhile for Cotuit, they've won just 1 game in their last 5 tries. Now, they did tie 1, but still just 1 win as the offering from Nicholas misses down and away, ball 4. Easy 4-pitch walk drawn for Lucas Dunn as it puts 2 on with nobody out for Mitch McIntyre. So the Kettleers once again blanked 1-0 yesterday against the Wareham Gatemen. They put up just 3 hits in that time. 1 from Nick Gonzalez, 1 from Adam Oviedo, 1 from Cody Pasek. And while they only have 5 hits so far today, it's been a different story, as now Mike Roberts is going to call time after Mitch McIntyre is announced as the hitter to step into the box. Going to walk out to the mound, and this will end the evening of the right-hander Kyle Nicholas. So new arm coming into the ballgame when we come back on the other side of the break. It's 8-3 Cotuit, but Hyannis has runners on first and second with nobody out. We'll take a break and bring you back right after this on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Mitch McIntyre coming to the plate as we continue the bottom of the 8th here from Lowell Park. And it'll be the right-hander Bo Hofstra out of Purdue coming into the game as he's set to face the BYU Cougar as he rocks and fires. First pitch popped up left side foul territory. Giving a look Casey Schmidt, and he watches it find the crowd. So Hofstra looking to mop up from Kyle Nicholas, whose day ends. An inning and 2/3, 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. But his line's still open as he's responsible for both DeSantelo at second and Lucas Dunn at first. Hofstra likes the sign from Pasek, checks the runner at second and delivers. Breaking ball, called strike 2, and McIntyre's way behind. For Hofstra, he's making his 5th appearance this summer. 4 1/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. He sets at the belt and fires the 0-2. Swing and a fly ball foul out of play again. This gets way over the trees down the left field line. He faced just 1 batter in his last appearance, that coming all the way back on Sunday, June the 23rd, so over a week ago against the Brewster Whitecaps. He gave up a hit, but it was part of a 6-2 Cotuit victory. 0-2. Down low, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. For Bo Hofstra, he was named to the 3rd team All-Big Ten squad this past season. 24 appearances out of the bullpen. A minuscule 1.62 ERA with 7 saves in 39 innings. 1-2 offering to McIntyre. Stings him on the right hand, and that'll be a hit by pitch. Or no, rather, they're gonna say it's a foul ball. The home plate umpire, Ronaldo Cochran. No, now he's gonna change his mind. And it hit him. Mike Roberts, Cotuit manager, asking to make sure it didn't hit off the knob of his bat, but ends up being a hit by pitch. McIntyre flips the bat back toward the first base dugout and is aboard at first. And Hunter Goodman strolls to the plate with the bases loaded and nobody out. Hyannis is down 5. It's 8-3 Cotuit. Goodman today, 0 for 2. Had that sac fly back in the top of the 2nd. First offering, big cut and a miss, and just like that, he was looking to make it a 1-run ball game. Was just about to say, Goodman has some light tower power in his repertoire. Got 2 homers on the season. Still looking to push up the average a bit. A 1, spits on that one, and the count levels. That was a breaking ball from the right-hander, Bo Hofstra. Goodman just lets it go as he flips the bat toward the mound once. Wiggles it just over his shoulder. Ground ball off the glove of the 3rd baseman, Schmidt. It sails into the air and trickles into left field. DeSantelo scores, Dunn behind him. He steps on the plate, and just like that, it's a 3-run ball game. Hunter Goodman with a rocket down the 3rd base line. Might have actually got off the knee of the 3rd baseman, Schmidt. It's off his glove or off the left knee area as he's trying to walk it out. Yeah, it looks like that is more what was the result. As a result, it skips into the air. Just trickles into left field. And 2-run score on the play. McIntyre moved up to second. And that'll bring up Brooks Carlson. Offering. Off speed, called strike. So tough play for Schmidt. That ball was hit on a rocket from Goodman. And he's still just trying to shake it out down there over on the 3rd base line. He's moving just a bit gingerly. Hofstra will check McIntyre at second, getting a lead. The offering, inside it's 1-1. And Schmidt is still down there. He's shaking out that left leg. That ball absolutely hit off the knee. He pounds his glove once. Mike Roberts is now asking him to shade in a bit as Hofstra delivers. Fastball just outside. It's a 3-run ball game. Carlson just produced his first home run of the season, and at bat a go back in the top of the 7th with that solo blast the opposite way. He represents the tying run for Hyannis. McIntyre at second, Goodman at first. Now the 2-1 from Hofstra. Down low, 3-1 the count. So they do rule that Hunter Goodman at bat a single, and seems about right. That ball was absolutely scorched down the left side. Carlson wiggling the bat inside the box. Hofstra the stretch in, the 3-1 pitch on the way. Upstairs, ball 4, he lost him. 5-pitch walk for Brooks Carlson, and that puts the tying run on first, sending the go-ahead run Chad McDaniel to the plate. So McDaniel today already doubled once, otherwise 1 for 3. He's got a pair of flyouts as well. So Hofstra, who was nothing short of lights out in his season at Purdue, and has been really solid here on the Cape so far with a 2.07 ERA, into some mighty trouble here in the 8th as he misses high to McDaniel. This is a win that Hyannis could desperately use. 4-2 victory over Bourne last night. They've had a couple chances so far today. The pitch to McDaniel's a fastball good for a strike on the outer edge. They left 2 on base, that being the Harbor Hawks, back in the 6th. Goodman struck out swinging to end that inning, but he makes up for it in the top of the 8th with that 2 RBI single. Now the offering to McDaniel, down low, it's 2-1. Chad, a switch hitter. 1 of 2 in the lineup along with Rowdy Jordan, who currently sits in the hole. 8-5 the score in favor of Cotuit. 8 hits for Hyannis, 5 for the Kettleers. The offering, fastball low. 3 balls and 1 strike to Chad McDaniel. McIntyre the runner at third. Goodman at second. Carlson at first. No hold from really anywhere on the infield. Schmidt playing even with the bag at third. Everybody else just about back. Hofstra the sign and the offering. Line drive into right field. In comes the right fielder Chavers. Dives, can't make the play. It gets behind him. McIntyre scores. Around third, Hunter Goodman. He's turning on the burners. Steps on the plate, no problem. And McDaniel's into second. It's a 1-run ball game here from Lowell Park as Chad McDaniel comes through with his second double of the evening, and he puts runners on second and third in the top of the 8th. So that was a line drive sinking into right field. Chavers, the man who hit the 3-run homer earlier in the game, gave a diving effort charging in, couldn't make the play. It skipped past him and further into the right field grass. And as a result, 2-run score, and Bo Hofstra has worked himself into some mighty, mighty damage. It ain't over either. Nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning. And Jackson Olsen, who's already got a pair of hits today, stepping to the left side of the plate. Parker Chavers started to run in from right field. I don't know if Mike Roberts signaled for the 5 infield shift for a second, but now he runs back out to right. Olsen's going to be the hitter. And the pitch down low, it's 1-0. So the most runs Hyannis has scored in an outing so far this season is 10 runs. That coming in the win against Falmouth last Wednesday. They had not put together a multi-run inning so far in the ballgame before right here in the top of the 8th. Olsen wiggling the bat, the offering. Ground ball, right side. Diving stop by Gonzalez with the infield in. Fires the first in time. Beautiful play by the Aggie Nick Gonzalez. Hasn't put together a hit tonight, but making up for it with the glove. A backhanded stop moving to his right. Falls to his stomach, gets to his feet, and fires a hard strike to McWhorter at first to keep the runners at bay. So tough break for Jackson Olsen right there. But no better time than right now for the first hit for Rowdy Jordan. Offering, swinging a foul back. 4 runs have come across here in the 8th frame for Hyannis. 2 RBI single from Hunter Goodman. And a 2 RBI double from Chad McDaniel. Olsen the first out of the inning with the switch hitting Jordan, wiggling his bat from the left side. Offering, curveball foul back. Rowdy Jordan 0 for his first 14 on the Cape. But that does not speak to the level of the player that he is, as he put together a phenomenal season for a Mississippi State Bulldogs team that made it all the way to Omaha. Offering from Hofstra misses outside with a fastball. It's 1-2. Rowdy Jordan played in every game in 2019, started in all but one, and put together a 370 on base. He points the bat out toward Hofstra now into his stance, offering down low, gets just to the right of the catcher. Pasek and Carlson holds at third. So a good stop by the catcher, Cody Pasek, to avoid the tying run, Carlson, from scoring from third. So the Samford first baseman, Carlson at third. It's Chad McDaniel at second. And Rowdy Jordan looking to complete a 5-run comeback here in the 8th inning. It was 8-3 to start the frame. Offering, down low, count runs full. And Rowdy Jordan is a guy who can really work some counts. He walked 30 times in his season with the Bulldogs in 2019. He walked 21 times as a freshman. Gives the bat a long point out toward the mound. It's 3-2 with 1 out. 8-7 Cotuit lead. Pitch. Swing and a fly ball into left field. This should get the job done. Hill makes the grab. Tagging from third, Brooks Carlson. Throws cut off. Relay to the plate. Not in time. Carlson steps on the dish, and that ties the ball game. A 5-run comeback here in the top of the 8th inning. Evened up by a sacrifice fly off the bat of Rowdy Jordan. So 8-8 here from Lowell Park. McDaniel stands at second. He didn't move anywhere. As Trevor Hoover, the hitter, stepping to the plate. He's the 9th man to come to the dish here in the inning. Pitch from Hofstra. Swing and a high pop-up into shallow left. Hoover slams the bat down just out of the box. Hill coasts over to his left and makes the play. That ends the inning, but the damage has been done. We got a brand new ball game here at Lowell Park in Cotuit. 8-8 in Game 2 of the 2019 Patriot Cup between Hyannis and Cotuit. We'll come back for the bottom of the 8th on the other side of the break on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We bring you back inside Lowell Park for the start of the bottom of the 8th inning, and everything is deadlocked 8-8 here from Cotuit as Hyannis brings in a new arm. Welcome to the Harbor Hawks, Tyler Drabick, who rocks and deals the first pitch to Arajanu, who swings through an off-speed pitch. Drabick making his first appearance in a Harbor Hawk uniform. Just finished his redshirt sophomore year at Kent State University. Stands at 6'3", 205 pounds as he works from the first base side, winds and fires. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Drabick, a 4-pitch guy. Fastball, high 80s to low 90s. Can also spin in a curveball, slider, and mix in a changeup as well. He's already got a new 0-2. Today he's 0 for 3. Offering. Swinging a high pop-up, right side. That's going to get well out of play down the right field line. So this is the second meeting of 6 between these two teams in what is labeled as the Patriot Cup, known as the series between Hyannis and Cotuit on a yearly basis. Offering, high fly ball, deep right field. Back goes McIntyre. Track wall, forget about it. Arajanu, his second home run in as many games against the Harbor Hawks. And just like that, Cotuit strikes back. It's 9-8 Kettleers in the bottom of the 8th. Anu gives a Cam Newton chest rip as he steps on home plate. High fives all around. And the Kettleers have the lead back 9-8 in the bottom of the 8th inning. So not the start Tyler Drabick was hoping for, as he'll now face the new hitter. It'll be Mason McWhorter as he watches one high and away. Third home run of the season for Anu, RBI number 11. Offering from Drabick, it's high, 2-0. So it's tough. He worked Anu into that 2-strike count. He had him well ahead at 0-2, but he left a heater up, and Anu squared one up, turning on it out to right field. Offering, high fly ball. This one into shallow left center. Hawver coming in quickly, calls everybody off, and he makes the grab right at the belt level, underhand. So Trevor Hawver had to run a long way out from left field. Ran in and toward the gap in left center, but he makes the play for the first out of the inning. So this will bring up Parker Chavers. He's already left an impression on the Cotuit faithful today. Drabick continuing to work out of the windup as he rocks and fires the first offering. Swing and a dribbler toward the left side. DeSantelo fields easily, fires across, 2 down. So 2 quick outs in response for the righty Tyler Drabick, and there's 2 down in the bottom of the 8th. But that Arajanu home run looming large here from Lowell Park. Cam Hill, the hitter. He's 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts and a line out to right. Drabick served as the team's closer for the Golden Flashes this past season. He picked up 3 saves. That led the squad. First pitch out of the windup. Breaking ball up high. Through 31 and a third innings. 14 appearances, none of them for starts. 1-0 with a 3.73 ERA. 15 walks to 29 punchouts. Offering. Breaking ball tapped foul behind the plate. Drabick isn't shy of throwing multiple innings. In fact, 11 of his 14 outings consisted of multi-inning appearances. 3 2/3 innings is season high. 1-1. Slapped foul out of play. So here he is making his first first appearance of the summer with the Hyannis Ball Club. He's got 2 outs, but gave up that leadoff blast to Arajanu, the difference maker in this ball game right now. Next offering, chopped toward the right side. Lucas Dunn to his left, fields cleanly, shovels to first in time. That ends the bottom of the 8th. 4 batters come to the plate, but an Arajanu solo blast makes it 9-8 Kettleers. Top of the 9th coming up from Lowell Park. Hyannis having their last ups on the other side of the break. 9-8 Cotuit from Lowell Park on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Hyannis with their last ups coming up here in the top of the 9th inning as it's 9-8 Cotuit with Bo Hofstra, the Purdue right-hander, back on the mound looking to finish the job. He was the man responsible for blowing the lead back in the 8th when Hyannis put up a 5-spot on the Kettleers. Back in that inning, they gave Cotuit a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. Kettleers tonight have 9 runs on 6 hits compared to Hyannis' 8 runs on 9 hits. First pitch to DeSantolo is a breaking ball good for a strike. But in that top of the 8th inning, the Harbor Hawks scored 5 runs, only coming on 2 hits. Hunter Goodman, 2 RBI single. Chad McDaniel, 2 RBI double. Pitch to DeSantolo, swing and the miss, count evens. This would be an important game for Hyannis as Cotuit sits at 2nd place in the West Division with 16 points, 7-7-2. Hyannis with 7 at 3-11-1. But the 2 teams that are a bit closer to him in the standings in play tonight as well. 0-2. Down low, 1 ball and 2 strikes to the FAU Owl. Bourne up 5-1 against the Wareham Gatemen out at Doran Park in Bourne right now. Chatham up 4-0 against YD at Veterans Field. That's an Eastern Division matchup. Offering to DeSantolo upstairs. And finally, out at Gov Fuller Field, Orleans leads 3-0 over the Falmouth Commodores. So now the offering to DeSantolo. Misses outside. The count will run full. So if everything holds, if Falmouth loses tonight and Bourne wins, that would give the Commodores 11 points with Bourne 12. Pitch to DeSantolo. Pop-up foul, out of play left side. And if that happens, Falmouth will move to 4th place in the West Division. So even if Hyannis can't mount one final comeback here in the 9th, they would sit 4 points behind what would be the 4th place Commodores. But as of right now, they sit 3 points behind the Bourne Braves, who they beat last night, who sit in 4th place. 3-2 to DeSantolo. Slap foul, just protecting again, sending it out of play. Brewster and Harwich are off today. They get to enjoy what is a very rare off day here in 2019 on Cape Cod. Everybody else, including Hyannis and Cotuit here in the Patriot Cup, making up what was a rainout earlier in the month of June. 3-2 to DeSantolo. Ground ball through the left side. That's a base hit. DeSantolo hits the bag at first. He'll stop right there. And the FAU Owl picks up what's his 2nd hit of the night. 4th time reaching base. And he puts the tying run on first for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
2 base hits, 2 walks for Jared. He's been an on-base machine tonight. Lucas Dunn coming up. And Bo Hofstra worked himself into some trouble back in the 8th. Well, it's gotten us to this point with just a 1-run game. Hyannis, see if they have one final mounted comeback in them.
DeSantolo a very short lead at first with Dunn the hitter. Offering swing and a miss. Lucas has reached base 3 times today. Single, walk and scored, and a hit by pitch. Coming off a .309 average in his season at Louisville. Usually a leadoff hitter by trade, but in the number 5 slot for Chad Gassman's squad tonight. Breaking ball from Hofstra. It's a good one at the knees. It's 0-2. So 9-8 Cotuit in the top of the 9th. Hyannis with 10 hits. Kettleers with 6 as DeSantolo gets a short lead at first. Hofstra gives him a couple looks, fires home. Ground ball up the middle. This is right at the shortstop. Oviedo steps on the bag, fires to first. That's a double play. 6 unassisted to 3 go the Kettleers, and that erases the base runners. 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning, and now the final hope relies on the shoulders of Mitch McIntyre.
Well, that one hurts. Dunn went after one out of the zone, got it off the end of the bat, pulled it a little bit towards shortstop just to the left of the bag. And a nice play from Oviedo to do it himself for the double play.
The McIntyre now the hitter. From the left side, Hofstra rocks and deals. First pitch breaking ball, good for a strike. Hofstra gave up 3 runs that were credited to his name back in the 8th inning. 2 were credited to that of Kyle Nicholas, who exited earlier in the 8th. Offering to McIntyre, down low, it's 1-1. If McIntyre can reach base, Hunter Goodman's the batter on deck. And today he's already come through with 3 RBIs, and we know he has some power in his arsenal. 1-1 to McIntyre. Swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch, and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks are down to their final strike. 9-8 Cotuit. Bo Hofstra looking to finish it out here at Lowell Park. McIntyre taps the plate a couple times. Now into his stance from the left side. The righty Hofstra fires, swing and a miss, that's the ball game. Bo Hofstra coughs up a 5-run lead in the top of the 8th, but slams the door in the top of the 9th, courtesy as well of an Araj Anu go-ahead home run to give Cotuit their 8th win of the season.
Yeah, this one really hurts tonight, Lyle. You know, you mentioned the 5-run comeback. Hofstra worked himself into some trouble in the 8th, but bouncing back nicely in the 9th inning. A leadoff single from DeSangelo gave Hyannis somewhat of a chance, but then the double play from Dunn erased that hopes, and then Hofstra fanning McIntyre to end the ball game. But the resilience of Hyannis is what stands out tonight in the 8-run effort on 10 hits. 9 runs on just 6 hits for Cotuit. That stands out as well because they capitalized on just about every free pass Hyannis gave up. Tough one for Hyannis tonight, but just got to move on to tomorrow. It seems like we've been saying that a lot lately, but alternating wins and losses, you know, isn't going to get you too far. But when you rack up the points too, they're still hanging around in the bottom of the West Division.
And it's tough too because similar thing happened on Saturday night at Chatham. They out-hit the Anglers. They couldn't pick up a win. Of course, that one was a little bit more lopsided on the run total, as Chatham won pretty handedly over Hyannis at Veterans Field by a score of 6-1. But here tonight, again, Hyannis scores first. Cotuit starts to get out to a big lead. They're up by 5 runs in the 8th. Hyannis comes all the way back with that 5 spot in the top of the 8th inning. But that Araj Anu home run really came back to sting Hyannis because they could have ended up with at least 1 point with a tie. But instead, they pick up the loss tonight, and Anu has now homered in 2 straight games against Hyannis.
Yeah, Araj Anu really, anchoring the Cotuit offense to put up 9 runs. One of those 6 hits, they had a trio, a blast. That one from Araj Anu, no different. Every home run that Cotuit racked up tonight, a towering shot. Garber gave up his fair share, as well as Tyler Drabeck, who came in, struggled. Not the outing he was hoping for in his debut. So again, the pitching staff not coming through tonight. The offense rallied around it, but just not enough.
So one final time, the final score 9-8 in favor of the hometown Kettleers. They'll move to 8-7-2 on the season and pick up their 18th point of 2019. For Hyannis, they dropped the contest, moving to 3-12-1, still at last place in the West Division, as this game lasted a total of 3 hours and 7 minutes from Lowell Park tonight. 4:59 the first pitch time. It ends at 8:06 with Bo Hofstra picking up the win. Tyler Drabeck suffers the loss as he gave up that solo blast to Araj Anu. So first appearance in a Hyannis uniform, and he does pick up the decision, and it's a losing one at that. Just over 1,000 people on hand at Lowell Park tonight, so a good crowd turnout for this one. But the final lines for each team: Hyannis, 8 runs on 10 hits, 1 error, and they leave a total of 7 on base. For Cotuit, 9 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors, and here's the story of the ballgame: 1 runner left on base. So the Kettleers capitalizing big time with runners in scoring position. Kettleers win this one, the first of 3 contests at Lowell Park this season between the two squads, the second of 6 contests on 2019. 9-8 the final. Cotuit picks up the win and moves to 8-7-2 on the year. Meanwhile, for Hyannis, it's back to Orleans, it's their first time at Orleans coming tomorrow night. Their second time facing the Firebirds this season, the first one coming on the road. That'll be a first pitch at 7 p.m. You can join us here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network for the pregame show and more, starting at 6:45 p.m. One more time for Brendan Howe, I'm Lyle Goldstein. We thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Have yourselves a great night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.